welcome to Stretford Paddock. This is the Paddock Watchalong. I'm joined today by Jay. We're a little bit late, but we don't need to worry about that. Manchester United are playing Chelsea at 5:30. We're going to be here all the way from now till the end of the match. It's a bumper watch-along.
About time.
It is about time, isn't it?
All these little, we'll do a bit of team news, then we'll have a little bit of a gap, and then we'll have the watch-along.
No.
Why?
Don't need of it. So what's happening? You join us now. We've got all sorts of shows coming up for you until the game starts. We'll have the team news on here. We'll have all this. I hate to use the term one-stop shop, Jay, because it's a little bit cheesy, but this is a one-stop shop, if I'm honest.
Well, you've got everything.
You've got everything.
The preview, you've got the team news, you've got the actual watch-along,
Yeah.
you've got the reaction, you've got live reaction, you've got the fan cams.
We've got all sorts.
What else do you want?
But this show, like I said, all you need to do, leave your YouTube open. This show is going to take you all the way from the start, from now, all the way through the team news, through the watch-along, right to the very end of the match. So, perfect, isn't it?
All the way through United's epic victory.
How are you feeling about this one? Manchester United against Chelsea. You see it in the bottom corner. Loads of zeros on screen there. 0-0, that's the score now. That's not the final score.
Right,
how are you feeling about the game?
I'm confident.
Yeah?
I've allowed myself to become
Good.
carried away on the wave of optimism.
Forget about that FA Cup semi-final. We beat them 3 times last season. Don't worry about the other one.
I remember being at Old Trafford, which seems a million years ago,
Yeah.
for the opening day of the season last season, where we gave them a lesson in football.
Absolute lesson.
It may have been a slightly fattering 4-0.
Dan James gave them a lesson in football. Right then, let's get straight into it then. We've got Stephen Howson with us, who will be on the watch-along with me and Jay later, but he's going to bring you his opposition... Because sometimes you need to know a little bit about what you're facing. You can't beat Chelsea unless you become Chelsea. That's what they say. Stephen Howson with his opposition preview. Take it away, Steve.
Cheers, pal. Right, let's talk about Chelsea then. Where are they strong? Where are they weak? What are they going to line up like? All that sort of good stuff. So, where are they strong? Now, Chelsea's starting 11 for me is one of the best starting 11s in the league. I think when you go all the way, I mean, all right, goalkeeper aside, let's be real. When you go right throughout that team, midfield into attack especially, it's one of the finest 11s that you'll find in the Premier League. Jorginho and Kante likely to play. I think they're probably going to play a 4-2-3-1, and I think it's going to be Jorginho and Kante that are the two in midfield. Now, obviously, they've got Premier League experience, they've got international experience, they've got European experience. 2 players that United could really do with for different reasons on both counts. But for me, they don't actually really work as a 2. But they do have Kovacic who they can bring in as well, which just shows the depth of the team that Frank Lampard is playing with, and probably why he should be doing a little bit better than he is with it. Now, going forward from that midfield 2 is where it really starts to get tasty for him. Obviously, they do play in that 4-2-3-1. Timo Werner's going to be the guy that's leading the line for them. He's the one that you're probably going to be resting your hat on. I can't believe what Joe said about him in the preview. I don't share that opinion. I think he's really good, and I think he's going to be someone that we definitely have to watch out for. Behind him, probably the star man, Kai Havertz. This kid's been on fire. 4 goals in 7 games for them so far, and he's also been creating an assist opportunity every single game, created 7 chances, 1 per game for all the different forwards around him. I would imagine it's going to be Pulisic on the left and Mason Mount on the right. That's a hell of a forward lineup, and when you add to that they're probably going to be throwing Ben Chilwell in as well, marauding up and down that left-hand side. United have got some things that they need to deal with. They certainly know how they're going forward. They're very dynamic in how they attack, and they use the width really well. 9 out of 10 of Chelsea's chances have came from the wide areas, and in particular, they come from the left. Here's what you need to be looking out for, or here's what United need to be looking out for. Timo Werner likes to pin his defenders back, and once he's pinned his defenders back, he then starts to move back along the pitch a little bit, and he pulls defenders out of positions. If you're trying to get touch tight to him, trying to mark him, let's say it's Harry Maguire that he's gone up against and gone close to, we've got to be wary of Harry Maguire being dragged out of position, because what happens is he rotates with Kai Havertz. That's how Havertz has been getting so many goal-scoring opportunities. He creates the space, Havertz gets into the space, and Chelsea get a shot off. You've got to watch for that. You've also got to watch for Havertz and Werner pinning the centre-halves and bringing in a full-back into the mixer as well. We know Pulisic likes to get across the front of the box. If he's doing that constantly and Wan-Bissaka follows his man, that's where the space opens up for Ben Chilwell. That's where United are likely to get hurt. For me, their attack is miles better than their defence. And I don't think they defend as a team. I don't think they compress as a team. I don't think they work hard as a team. And I think, weirdly, for a midfield that's got 2 number 6s in it, they're actually very vulnerable at the core, right in the middle. They don't win second balls. They seem to have a lot of space in between the defence and midfield, and that's why I'm not a fan of Frank Lampard. I think he doesn't set his team up to be defensively sound. So for me, if I'm Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, what I'm looking to do is I'm looking to give them the ball, invite them on. Let them attack us and then hit them on the counter where they are soft. If it's Thiago Silva that's playing in defence, probably alongside Kurt Zouma, I got no worries. I think he can be got at, and I don't think he gets any protection from what is admittedly two very good midfielders in front of him in Kante and in Jorginho. And that's how United need to attack them. It's probably going to be Edouard Mendy in net after Lampard's comments earlier in the week stating that it's probably going to be Edouard Mendy. And I think that United can easily come away with something in this game. But for me, the key to this is to let Chelsea have the ball. Let them have the ball, draw them in, allow them up the pitch, and then hit them with blistering counters. We're going to get the team news pretty much soon, so I'm not going to give you my starting 11 prediction because that's going to be out the window in about 10 minutes time, so I'm not going to give you that, but I will look at some of the quotes that came out from Lampard earlier in the week. Kepa has a shoulder issue, so won't travel to Manchester, and Gilmour is a long-term one. The rest of the players are fit. We brought in 6 players to compete for the starting 11. We're seeing signs of improvement. We missed pre-season, so I knew it would take time, and I expect us to keep getting better. Frank feels that the Premier League is going to be unpredictable at the moment, with certain teams conceding lots of goals and plenty of turnarounds. He knows United are a good team, having played them 4 times last season. Talking about Ziyech, he said that it's been difficult to get him up to full fitness because he hasn't been able to put on training matches with the younger players due to bubble restrictions at Cobham, but he is looking to get him sharper in games. Their last 5 are really interesting. Draw 3-3 with West Brom. Draw, but lost on pens against Spurs. Win against Palace 4-0. Maybe not so Palace. Draw against Southampton 3-3, and then draw against Sevilla 0-0. I did see some quotes that came out from him in midweek after the draw, seeming like pretty happy that they actually kept a clean sheet, showing how bad they actually are. I mean, they got one against Palace, so I don't know what he's on about there, but he said it was really important for them to get a clean sheet. I think it's because systematically they are weak defending, and I hope that United go and exploit that. In terms of how I expect United could line up against this Chelsea team and how they could exploit some of the weaknesses that I see in this Chelsea team, there's 2 options really that I see, and one is going to be the 4-3-3 that we've seen Ollie use time and time again, and the other one is the 3-5-2, and I'm pretty down the line. In my own preview, I went with a 4-3-3, so just to be different for this one, I'm going to go with the 3-5-2, and I reckon that the best way you exploit this is you become defensively sound and you are deadly on a counter-attack. In my own preview, I mentioned this as well. If I went with Cavani, I think that would be a very great player for that United could use, a very good player, a great option that we could use, someone to play the ball up to and link the likes of Greenwood and Rashford, and I think that would be a very effective tactic that United could play in this game, someone who can actually hold the ball up. We've seen the impact that we had with Ighalo doing it. Cavani is levels better than Ighalo and levels better as a finisher on top of everything he can bring in as a hold-up player as well. So I would think that the best option for United would be a back 3, and I would say Axel, Harry, Lindelof would be a solid base for United to play out from. All 3 can play ball. All 3 can defend. It's not a bad base for us to go. My only worry is, can Axel manage 2 games in a week when he's not played more than 1 in over a year? Wan-Bissaka at right wing back, I thought after the week he's had, keep playing him. He was fantastic, and I think he would relish the opportunity to come up against Pulisic and Ben Chilwell. On the left-hand side, I go with Telles. I think the threats that we saw from corners and the threats that we've seen from him from set pieces and in open play as well, that's something that you have to exploit, especially if you do play Cavani. Although I think if you went with the 3-5-2, it'd probably be Cavani that came out, and you probably go with Lindelof or Luke Shaw into the team. A midfield 3 of Matic and Pogba being a little bit deeper, and obviously Bruno a little bit further up. But again, if you're looking for a workman-like midfield, wouldn't be shocked to see McTominay, wouldn't be shocked to see Fred. And the reasons for those 2 are they just do more work off the ball than Paul Pogba does. No one looks at Fred or McTominay and says they're better footballers than Paul Pogba. But sometimes it's not about whether they're better footballers, it's about are they the right footballers for the system and the tactics that you want to play. Up front, I hope to see Mason Greenwood back in a United shirt. That's where we want him making headlines. Don't care about him being on the sideline doing this, that, and the other. Don't care what he does as long as he turns up and smashes the goals in for United. That's what it's all about. Left-hand side, Marcus Rashford. And if you're playing a 2, that would be the 2. If you're playing the 3, I think Cavani in the middle of them would give a little bit of experience to what is a young and deadly forward line. Right, get all your questions in for the lads to read out live on the stream. Make sure you're sending in us our dual screens, and I'll see you back on a watch-along very soon.
Thank you there to Stephen Howson, who did his opposite. There we go, we're on.
We're here.
Who was that lad that was going to introduce us?
I don't know.
In the red hoodie.
some.
No, it wasn't. That was the end of that video. Don't you worry about it, Callum. All right, Jay.
Yes, I'm good. How are you, mate? Is this the team news? I take
This is the team news. We're live to bring you the team news for Manchester United versus Chelsea. How are you feeling?
I'm
Jay?
feeling confident. I've just been chatting to Joe Smith on our pre-team news show, and I said to him I was feeling pretty confident. I remember the beginning of last season, opening game at Old Trafford, 4-0.
Battered him. 4-0.
Maybe a little bit flattering, if you're being brutally honest.
Only
but
slightly.
Only slightly. Maybe 3-0 would have been closer. So I'm not going to say we're going to win 4-0, but I think we'll win by at least 3 goals.
Yeah. Oh, wow. You've said it now. Anyway, get your comments in. Get your predict. What do you think the starting lineup should be?
I mean, after
thinking?
Paris, you think, well, will he go with the likes of Tuanzebe again?
Yeah.
Is he going to stick with that? Will he fancy putting Fred and McTominay in his midfield because he's conscious of the threat of Chelsea? But there's some tweets going about on their Twitter, obviously, that there's a leak, and I think Ollie's not happy about leaks, but there is one,
They keep happening.
that it's going to be the same team against Newcastle, which wouldn't surprise me if I'm being brutally honest, because I think that he may well think, yep, I've brought in some guys for Paris, they've had a long night of it, you know, dealing with the likes of Kylian Mbappe, Neymar, so go back to the ones from the Newcastle game. And obviously, like, you know, we're talking about Maguire. That team, if you don't know, was De Gea, Wan-Bissaka, Lindelof, Maguire, Shaw, McTominay, Fred, Mata, Fernandes, or Bruno, as he's known to his mates, James, or James, and the greatest man in the world, and I'm not exaggerating, Marcus Rashford.
He is the greatest man in the world.
He is. There's no one better, and that is a fact.
Yep, he is the greatest man in the world. Scoring goals against PSG on Tuesday and then just saving the world for the rest of his time.
Do you know what I mean? Just literally
one
being
tweet at a
an
time.
amazing human being that we can all aspire to.
Yeah. I'd like to see Tuanzebe play. I think he was so good in the week. I'd love to see him start.
At the expense of Maguire again?
Maybe even Lindelof. If you're going to bring Maguire, if Maguire's your club captain, he's got to come back in. You kind of understand that. And you just got to be ruthless with players like Lindelof. You know, if a player like Tuanzebe's come in and played as well as he did, I think he needs to start. And I think that to me is the strongest partnership. The Tellez argument's a strange one because I think he offered us something that we've not had for, I don't think in the 2000s, never mind for the last few seasons, of someone that can put a quality cross in.
Yeah. I think we were saying that whenever was a different type of left back, people go, oh, whatever, and I get where you're coming from. But Tellez was he was like a David Beckham type figure on the left. I'm not saying he's as good as David Beckham before people start hammering me, but he didn't have to necessarily go past his man to get a ball in.
No.
You know, he could cross from deep, cross from sort of on the byline, and that was the sort of thing that Tellez did. He seemed to be able to hit him long, hit him sort of short. He just had as they like to say, a wand of a left foot.
A wand of a left foot, yeah, definitely. And I think the only thing with that is maybe if you bring in a player like Tellez in, do you have to start someone like Cavani? Do you have to play someone like Edison Cavani? Welcome. Welcome. Yeah. Go that way. No worries, mate.
Just
we are
like-
live, don't worry.
You want to go around that way?
Go around.
Am I live?
Yeah.
We are live,
Yeah.
don't worry.
Joe from Cheeky Spot.
That is Joel from Cheeky Sport in the background there. Yeah. So team news should be out any second
What's
now.
people saying in the comments?
What are people saying in the comments? They are saying unchanged from Newcastle. I think someone's beat us to it. Someone's obviously recognised Cheeky Sport. Joel, let's have a quick look, see if there's any tweets going out now with the Manchester United team. With the Manchester United. Ollie, there you go. Ollie does name an unchanged lineup for the game against Chelsea. Same team as Newcastle, so we'll go through that. We've got David De Gea in goal, Wan-Bissaka at right back, Lindelof and Maguire as our centre halves, Luke Shaw at left back, Fred and McTominay, who had a fantastic game, both of them in Paris. They keep 100%. Their place in the team. Juan Mata comes back in, Bruno Fernandes in the 10, Daniel James on the left-hand side, and like you've mentioned, the greatest human being of all time, Marcus Rashford at centre forward. On the bench, we have Dean Henderson, Tuanzebe, Matic, Pogba, Van der Beek, Cavani, and Greenwood. So Greenwood,
big call as well with Pogba, isn't it? Because he didn't start.
He's not starting a lot
in Paris. He's sort of, you know, where do you get to the point where this is no longer a fitness or resting thing, and it is purely just tactical that you don't fancy him for these games?
Yeah, it's a strange one. I think there's definitely an argument that the bigger games that McTominay and Fred do a great job in there and filling in and can close down players. You know, we're going to be playing against Kai Havertz today, and they're the kind of players that Fred and McTominay do well at marking them for. But again, Paul Pogba, bench again. Is there a little bit of a worry? Van der Beek as well. If Pogba's not great in the team, Van der Beek is surely again a peg behind him as well. And then the good thing, I mean, Greenwood being on the bench, there was some rumours that there was still problems.
He's
there.
addressed that, and Ollie said that it's been exaggerated or even made up. These sort of rumours and stories about him being late for training, or he may have some form of slight attitude problem. He said no, he turns up on time. He's a great lad. All that sort of stuff. He's fully backing him, and that's a lot. I'm just looking at the comments here, mate, and a lot of people seem a little unhappy about the team. This team is shocking. What the F is this team? James Matter, FFS. I mean, people were saying that before the Newcastle game, and I know Newcastle and Chelsea aren't the same team, but it was a pretty comprehensive win. And you also saw Ollie change it during the game, bringing in the likes of Van der Beek, bringing in the likes of Paul Pogba, which gave us that second wind almost, didn't it?
Yeah. Tell us.
Cavani's available as well.
Yeah.
So you think about it, if you're Chelsea and you're up against it, or 70 minutes in, and then Edison, Cavani, Paul Pogba, and Donny Van der Beek come on, or Mason Greenwood.
I know, yeah.
That's not exactly the last 20 minutes you'd want from a football match.
Yeah, and there's the argument that last season, I mean, the players we were bringing on last year, Igalo's not made it into the squad. I think it looks like he's
romantic fairy tale maybe coming to an end there with Odion Igalo.
Yeah, so he's not made it into the squad again. But you're thinking of the players we were bringing on last year, Lingard not making it into the squad, Pereira, been shipped out now. But they were the kind of players we were bringing on last year or looking to. You've now got a bench where you've got Greenwood, Cavani, Van der Beek, Pogba. I mean, any of them four coming on, I mean, makes a massive difference. And maybe the argument is that you want to start with your best players, but I think in a game like today against Chelsea, where they're going to have a lot of the ball, Fred McTominay had a great game in midweek. I'm not too surprised at that. I'm surprised maybe he might have started with Cavani as an out-and-out number 9, maybe put Marcus back up to the left-hand side. But
I'm just going to go through the Chelsea team. I don't know if you've mentioned it already, but I don't know if it's been put up, but... No. Chelsea confirmed their team is Mendy in goal. That's a big one for them because I think he played against, was it Sevilla?
Yeah.
Kept a clean sheet. They've had all sorts of problems in goal. They've even had Petr Cech re-registered himself as a player, which says all you need to know about that. Got Reece James, the player, I can never pronounce this right, but I'll have a go, Aspilicueta. Thiago Silva, Zuma, Chil. Yeah, people laughing at my pronunciation, which is shocking, as anyone who watches this channel and sees me on it will know. Chilwell, Jorginho, Kante, Pulisic, Werner, Havertz, and if you care about their bench even, Calabrero, Rudiger, Kovacic, Mount, Ziyech, Giroud, and Abraham. I hate the sight of Olivier Giroud, by the way, for many reasons. I mean, that's a pretty strong Chelsea team to expect. Thiago Silva, do you think there's a...
Definitely.
I use the word weakness loosely, but he's getting on a bit, isn't he? Someone like Marcus, 36. I've just been told there. I've Cheeky Sport Joel.
Yeah,
36. I mean, he's a young man, obviously, because life begins at 40. But is that something maybe the likes of Marcus Rashford, and if Mason comes on, he can exploit that a little bit of his pace?
I think you've got Aspilicueta in there as well, who was looked a step a bit slow this season. He's not been as sharp as he has been. They've gone to 3 at the back by the looks of things. I think maybe they were predicting that United might stick with the 3 at the back, so they've kind of maybe tried to match us up a little bit, and it's not been the case. They've got back 3 of Aspilicueta, Thiago Silva, and Zuma. Zuma's got a bit of pace, but those other 2...
Zuma had an absolute stinker at Old Trafford last season, didn't he? Do you remember?
He did.
Kurt Zuma, I think if memory served, I might run, but I think he got taken off.
I did, but going down that left-hand side, you've got Dan James, you've got Marcus Rashford, who are looking to be running behind Aspilicueta and Thiago Silva. I think that's going to be a bit of a panic station for there. Obviously, Reece James playing as a wing-back, he'll be able to come back and cover, but at the same time, those 2 centre-halves aren't the quickest, and having pace in Marcus Rashford, having the pace of Dan James, definitely think there's an option there. And, they've gone defensive, which is kind of worrying, which is a strange one for Chelsea, considering the start that they've had this season and their so-called superior squad. For them to come to Man United and go 3 at the back it shows how strong United have been.
I mean, it does. I mean, this league's a bit weird this season, isn't it? There's been no runaway leaders. No. It's not been like last 2 seasons or last 3 seasons where you've had either City or the Scousers just winning every game. City, I think, have had their worst start since 2014-15 season. The Scousers got beat off Villa 7-2, so they're not having a great start to the season. So, I think when you look at that and you look at teams like Chelsea, like us, I'm not saying we're going to win the league or anything like that, but it's not the same as it was last time round.
No,
where
it's looking.
You've got 1 or 2 teams just storming ahead, and games like this where you've got 2 teams who want to be in the mix at least for the top 4. The massive games.
Well, that's it.
More so than
The
ever.
top 6 looks a lot closer together now. You know, it doesn't look like there's that big separation. And with the injury to Van Dijk at Liverpool, that's going to bring them definitely close to that chasing pack. City.
Van Dijk got injured.
Have you not seen? It's all over Twitter, Jay.
No, really?
Yeah.
I didn't even hear about that. Bloody hell. Yeah, well,
You
I'm
thought they'd
amazed no
mentioned
one's
it.
like mentioned that, or at least
Surprised
give
Sky
the lad a bit of
Sports
support.
haven't done like a full
Shocking,
show
that's
about it.
proper
almost.
slips under the radar.
Anyway, so with Van Dijk injured and City not having the best start to their campaign, I do think that there's an opportunity for Chelsea, for United, to even extend Arsenal and things like that, pushing on and challenging these teams in order to get close to the top 2.
Just looking at the comments here again, like people saying Lindelof and Maguire scary lads. I know you're trying to be positive. This is about unbearable, but the team is wrong. Lindelof and Maguire versus Werner's pace. The back 4 is not right for this game. Newcastle are different to Chelsea. Someone else is saying, I said that myself earlier. Here's one. Bulky in 1987 says, unpopular opinion, I'm happy we're playing James on the left wing.
I
mean,
don't
he
mind
did all right
it.
against Newcastle.
I don't
He
mind
gets
it.
a lot of stick down.
I
James
like-
is an easy target as well to people to, because he's not like, if you have a dig at Pogba or Martial or whatever, you're going to have a lot of people on your case. Daniel James, he didn't have a great season last season. He had a good start, and then he had a bit of a sort of sticky patch.
I don't mind him.
But he's an easy target,
I
feel.
don't mind him at left wing, and especially today. As I said, getting in behind Aspilicueta, he's going to be worried about that. I think we've got to look at that. A little bit worried about the centre halves. Obviously, with Werner's pace, there is something there. But I think they can have a lot of the ball. Don't think there's going to be that. Don't think the game's going to get stretched that much where the pace of Maguire and Lindelof's probably going to get brought into question. There's probably going to be, we are maybe going to be absorbing a bit more pressure and then hitting them a little bit more on the counter-attack, which worked last season. And hopefully it works again today.
It's mad as well. A lot of people in the comments, and I get it, saying about Tuanzebe. Why is he not starting? I mean, it's weird. A few weeks ago, Tuanzebe, Axel Tuanzebe was almost like the forgotten man. People wondering whether we were going to see him again. People wondering, can you rely on him? What's happened with this injury? It was weird because it didn't seem like a long-term injury at the time. It seemed like almost the niggle that kept him out for so long. Carl Hagen in the super chat says, lads, just seen the lineup. What was wrong with using the PSG lineup? It worked. Ollie got this wrong. I get your point, Carl, but maybe Ollie's thinking the lads left a lot on the pitch that night. It was a long evening. You had to deal with Tuanzebe's come back. He's not played a lot of football, and he's up against Mbappe and Neymar. Did a great job. Maybe he's sort of managing them. Tellez as well came from Sao Paulo, flew over straight into the team against PSG. Or obviously a few
Near
days
enough,
later.
yeah.
So he's had a sort of lot of travelling and obviously not played any football for Manchester United before the PSG game. So I can sort of understand it.
I think as well, with that system, I think it relies a lot on Marcus Rashford and Martial. I think Martial, to have that system, you're going to have 2 very isolated players. You need someone that's going to hold the ball up, but also someone that can run in behind.
Sorry,
Dan James isn't the player that's going to do that.
Darren's asking, does Martial have an injury? Yes. He injured himself while getting a red card against Spurs.
Anyway, so no Martial, and I think that not having Martial in there to partner Marcus doing that split striker system is a massive loss, and I don't think that system works as well. It wouldn't work as well with Cavani, definitely. And certainly, I don't know whether Mason Greenwood's not played that much football in recent weeks. It might not work as well with him.
We've got some quotes by the managers. You've got a man if you want to bring them up.
Certainly do. We'll start with Lampard. Lampard's had a chat about. Like we mentioned before, how the league itself isn't been the strongest. Let's see what. Yeah. So Lampard said it's too early to assume anything. It's early. The games of teams around you will always be big. There are games where you have to grind out. And then he's gone on to say about United. I think the league is unpredictable. There have been big turnarounds in games. They are a very good team. So again, he's kind of bigging up United a little bit, and he mentioned he's gone. It certainly does feel like a big game. They're a quality team. They went to Paris and got a fantastic result. It's an opportunity to get some hard-earned points. Also, there's some quotes about Lampard comparing the pressure he's under at Chelsea to what he's under at Ollie, and I think you have some words about that. Maybe it's not the same kind of pressure.
I think this season, Lampard is under pressure. I nearly fell off the table there. I was so shocked at the quotes from Frank Lampard because Last season, he almost got a pass because they lost Eden Hazard. They had the transfer ban that wasn't a ban, even though they went out and still spent 70, 80 million quid or whatever it was. Yeah. But a lot of people give him credit for that. He brought all these youngsters in, like recalled the 97 players he had out on loan, the likes of Mason Mount and Sammy Abraham, of course. Brought them into the team. And there was almost a little bit of a feel-good factor going on at Chelsea when they went on that run, and after they'd been beaten by us, of course. Yeah. They went on a run. They won a lot of games. It was sort of Abraham, was scoring a lot of goals, and people were respecting the fact that Lampard had put his faith in youth. He wasn't just going with the likes of Kante and Giroud. He was giving the youngsters a chance. They were winning games, and everyone was loving it. Tailed off a little bit towards the end of the season. Obviously, ended up finished below us. They've spent massively this summer, and I think at Chelsea, it doesn't matter whether you're Frank Lampard, Jose Mourinho, Carlo Ancelotti, whoever you are, you're always going to be under pressure in your second season. You know, we saw Ancelotti win the double. In his second season, they finished second, he gets sacked. Now, Lampard will get a bit of good grace because he's such a Chelsea legend, and I get that. But this season, if they don't finish in the top 4, he's going to be in all sorts of trouble. After you've spent 200 million quid at a club like Chelsea, it was the least sentimental club in the world, you're going to be under pressure. So I think this season he will be under pressure. Ollie's always under pressure. We've seen that no matter what. But I think it's different for Lampard because unlike last season where he almost had a pass, he won't get a pass this season.
No, he won't. But it's strange how the media kind of portray it, and it's the same kind of thing online as well, where they kind of say that, you know, Ollie isn't a good enough manager to be doing this, and he's not setting up the team right. He's not doing this, and this. Whereas Lampard, that's not how they phrase it. You know, they kind of say, you know, he was doing well at Derby and all this kind of stuff, which he wasn't really.
It makes me laugh because people say, well, Ollie only got the job because United legend. That's not necessarily true because Ollie got the permanent manager's job because of what he did as a caretaker manager. He was never going to be the permanent manager. He came in as caretaker. And because we broke all these records and went on this ridiculous run, the board thought, hang on a minute, maybe he's the right man long term. Now, like you say, with Lampard, he had this wonderful time at Derby. Well, he didn't. Didn't he finish with 1 point less with him than he finished the season before?
He didn't
got to the playoff final and lost. Okay, not the world's worst record. Granted, it's okay. Goes to Chelsea, finished 4th. Again, not the worst record, but it's okay. It's not like that's amazing. Now, Ollie, obviously, you know, we finished 6th in his first season, which is great. But you look at what he inherited. You look at the things he's done in terms of bringing through the youngsters, getting rid of some of the players that needed to be moved on. You look at some of the results and the runs we've been on, including now 10 away wins on the trot, which I think is a record. You can see what he's doing. You can see that the signings he's made have started to work or have worked. You know, Aaron Wan-Bissaka the other day against Paris was phenomenal.
Unbelievable play.
Phenomenal performance by him. Donny van de Beek already looks like a player. I know we've not seen a lot of him. He looks like a player who can do bits. And we know how good Bruno's been. So, you know, I think there's a difference there with the way Ollie and Lampard have gone about it and the reasons they're both in this job. And I think what happens with Ollie is he gets hammered by the press a lot of the time. He gets hammered by some United fans who are obsessed with Maurizio Pochettino. Whereas Lampard, who's had an almost identical record, really, he's lauded as some sort of great saviour of English football, and for me it seems a little bit unfair.
I think the other thing with Ollie as well is that, you know, everyone says, well, he's not qualified to do the job, he's not done this, and this, but you look at it and say, well, Jose Mourinho was qualified to do the job and failed. Van Gaal was definitely qualified to do the job and failed.
Someone in the super chat, says, does Dan James have compromising photos of Ollie with Hunter Biden? Bit political. Oh, Joe says Mason Mount does for Chelsea. I think Mason Mount may have something on Gareth Southgate, seeing as he seems to love him for reasons that are yet to be explained properly to me.
Yeah, Jack Grealish has man of the match performance against England. Tell you what, though, that Mason Mount was good. I mean,
almost admire that level of, like, you know, just
brilliant,
sheer biasness towards a player. Like, yeah, never mind about Jack Grealish, he's man of the match. Look at what Mason Mount's doing. Love that guy. Anyway, enough from me and Alex Baggers. Let's hear from more Alex Baggers. He's got the pre-game show. Yeah. So here's Alex Baggers with all the pre-match show, including the predictions.
Thanks for that, guys. Now that the team news is in, make sure you're getting your score predictions in the comments below. And if you want to feature on the watch-along and get your prediction on the preview, make sure you're emailing paddockmatchday@gmail.com the day before a game, and we will get your preview in this next section. But here is a few of yours, as well as some familiar faces.
Hey, what's going on, guys? John here for Stretford Paddock. Jay's asked me to do a match prediction of the Manchester United versus Chelsea game. I'm so excited. It's going to be such an important game again, following another important game for Manchester United.
All right, James, if Stretford Paddock, just a quick one for the game against Chelsea tonight. I think United will probably do actually reasonably well.
Paddock match day, Notch here. Here's an interesting one.
just seen one spectaculaire between United and PSG, two teams who are spectacular in attack but with problems in defence. And now we're playing Chelsea.
Manchester United v Chelsea. My score prediction, 3-1 United.
Both club managers have had a bit of a rocky start to this season. Lampard and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer both in particular have not enjoyed such a smooth ride since the new season's begun. But I think Ole in particular has found himself in a bit of a high. The results against Newcastle, and especially that win against PSG, was so crucial and so vital in terms of rebuilding that morale, in terms of establishing a bit more confidence going forward. So I think this is going to be a great opportunity for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to really capitalize and seize this moment and to continue to ride on a high.
I think United have a pretty decent run of form that they're currently on at the minute. I think the game against PSG will really help alongside the win against Newcastle before that. I think this is a good time, especially to play against Chelsea with the momentum that we've got from those two matches. I thought Rashford played really well against PSG. I thought the squad has really had a big improvement since the international break. I think that's probably going to help in big matches like this as against Chelsea.
This one we need to watch Havertz, I think. He's very good in the number 10 and can go round and attack our left-hand side. Ziyech can do the same if he plays. So let's keep this good form going at least. I can see this as 2-0 and maybe a goal from the Cavani. I predicted it right the other day, you know. Trust the Notchta.
Hello everyone, I'm Jay and I'm from the back post, and yeah, I'm a Chelsea fan, so you're already going to hate me, but I'm here to give my prediction for the game. I think it's going to be a very tough one. Last time Chelsea United play, we both respected each other too much. We both played 5 at the back, no one really attacked, and Chelsea utilised individual errors from United, so it's hard to tell what's going to happen. United are on really hot form right now.
It's a must-win game after the away result at PSG and last week against Newcastle. I feel very confident that we can get a result this time at home.
Cavani looks like he might make his debut as well today. I don't think he's going to start. I think it's probably more realistic if he's on the bench, which is probably fair enough, probably fair on the other players that have been playing well for United this season. So expecting a pretty positive game from United, and I think I'll probably say 2-1.
Hey, Angelina here with my prediction for today's game against Chelsea. Don't think it's going to be easy, but I am confident that with that PSG win, we're going to be able to carry through that positive momentum. Chelsea, they have got some brilliant players, but I don't think they're quite gelled yet, and I think that we can definitely take advantage of that.
Lampard's boys haven't been doing that well. I believe they had a draw against, I forgot the team, was it Southampton? And also had a draw against Sevilla. Both teams that are, not horrible, but, they should be, with the quality and the money that they spend, they should be getting a win against sides like that. And I've not seen Lampard really shining that much. Pulisic is obviously a threat. Pulisic is more of a threat in terms of U.S. politics. But anyways, do not write off Timo Werner.
Chelsea have had 2 draws. But for me, that might work in our favour. We really need this, so we might come through. Our front 4 are looking just insanely deadly, and I think with Mendy and Silva in at the back, we are stronger. So I'm going to go for maybe a 2-1. I don't think it's going to be as exciting as a game. It's not going to have loads of goals. I think it's just a simple 2-1 to Chelsea. Thanks for having me on Stretford Paddock.
So I am going to go for a 2-1 win. Obviously, Rashford is going to be on that score sheet. And if Pogba's playing, I'd like to see him get a goal as well.
So it's going to be a great game. It's going to be a tight game, but I think Manchester United will take the edge. It's going to be difficult to keep a clean sheet, but I'm going to go for a... Let's go 3-2. I've been okay on my prediction, so let's go 3-2 to Manchester United. I think we'll take this win.
As always, we've had a busy week here at Stretford Paddock, a couple of podcasts for you. We've had Howson and McCall Uncensored, and they talked about how no one really respects Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Check it out here.
Well, make no mistake, I've seen a lot of people criticising the way United played unfairly against Paris.
Criticising that?
Yeah. And even been going, we can only do it on a counter. What does that mean?
Both our goals weren't on the counter.
No, they weren't. For starters, massively not either, for one. And for two, I couldn't find a fuck to give if it was.
Also, I came away from that game feeling more pleased. That victory was better than the last victory against PSG.
Well, undoubtedly.
It was a victory where...
Last one was a smash and grab.
Yeah, and this
was not
we
a smash and
deserved
grab.
it.
No, we turned up, we set our stall out, we took the lead. How about that? We took it to them. Half time, it was 4 shots apiece. We scored their goal, and then we pressed and pressed and pressed. And it was about a 70-80 minute mark.
Ali changed the game to win the game.
Yeah.
Not to go defensive.
Not at all. He was like, oh, they're getting a bit of joy here. They've just done that. They moved. We moved.
But we were also on the watch-along saying, lads, we've got a chance here.
Yeah.
Every time, and I was glad that he saw that, because there've been too many times that I've seen things on the pitch and he hasn't seen it. And it's like, come on, Ollie, you've got to change something here. And that's where I think he's let himself down sometimes, the failure to change a game and stop it going one way or to make it go the other way.
Can I give you a mitigating circumstance on that?
Yeah.
Never had the tools to. Never had a bench that had Paul Pogba on it.
No, but for example, against Spurs, when we were 6-1, we kept pressing from the front. You leave them holes. I thought that was naive.
Maybe, but I've seen Fergie do that.
We lost 6-1 with Fergie because we kept attacking. I thought there was a difference in the front 3-4 were pressing, leaving them gaps, and that was very naive. I thought you had to be more passive in defence there then.
Well, I'm going to do a video potentially Sunday. I need to see if Harry Maguire returns to the side because that's a massive part of the video. And if he does, do we play on the front foot or are we reactive? And for people in the comments that are thinking, we'll be reactive because Ollie's shit. Do you know what? If we're reactive and we win, that means he's mint, mate. Because that means he's read the situation and he's delivered the right sort of tactics to win as a game. And that is the fundamental, most important thing about it.
Also this week we had the Devils podcast and the lads, Jay, Adam and Joe, had a chat about Marcus Rashford. Marcus Rashford, not only is he scoring last-minute winners against Paris Saint-Germain, but he's doing unbelievable work up and down the country, helping feed school children in half-term and all that good stuff. Here's what the lads had to say about that.
Talking of Tories, Marcus Rashford took him on again, hasn't he?
Oh, wait. Whoa. That was Yeah, he has taken him on again. I love Marcus Rashford. And
so you should. It's the
rules.
It's the law.
As someone that grew up on free school meals, dinner tickets, milk tokens, things like that. My mum being on benefits and that, I used to be ashamed when I used to get my dinner ticket.
Yeah.
Or hide it, or get my dinner last, or get it first before anyone would see it, or look at people with packed lunches and think, oh, I want a packed lunch and that. But I'm glad that Marcus Rashford is standing up, because kids that used to feel like me, maybe they won't be as ashamed about it. Do you know what I mean? And ultimately, there's people that say, oh, no, parents' fault and this, that, and the other. Whoever's fault it is, it's not the child's fault. Do you know what I mean? And I don't know. I'm proud of Marcus Rashford. And people that like to say, why is he doing this? He's doing it for PR and he's doing it for the MB and he's doing it for this and that and the other. Marcus Rashford's PR is absolutely fine. He could go home, relax, put his feet up, and he's got all right to do that and count his money, relax, spend time with family. But he decides to do this. Do you think this makes his life easier? Do you know what I mean? It doesn't make his life easier. It brings him under the scrutiny. It puts him under the lens even more. One slip and the right-wing media will be all over him.
Big time.
And it's like, this doesn't make Marcus Rashford's life easier. This isn't easy PR. If he wants easy PR, he can do things where, I don't know, pay for some fans' season tickets, there's a lot of things you can do to get PR. But, this isn't that. And I just think, as someone that grew up in that environment where my mum wasn't an alcoholic, my mum cared about us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
And when people throw these things around, I think it's very, very dangerous. And just to see Marcus Rashford, I know this is a place where we're supposed to speak about football and that, but I don't give a fuck.
Well, he's a footballer.
Just to see that, he makes me proud. I'm super proud of Marcus Rashford. And I know you don't need our help here at Paddock or whatever, but if there's anything we can do to help him, we're here. Do you get me? Our platform is his platform, but not that he needs us, because he's doing a great job. And yeah, man.
So as always, you can listen to us as well as watch us on your favourite podcasting services. So whether it's Spotify, iTunes, I don't know, all the rest of them that you use, make sure you're clicking the link below and you can listen to all the Paddock podcasts. So if you want to get involved, not only in the comments below, but also on Twitter, make sure you're using #PaddockMatchday throughout the game. Let's see your home setups. Let's see how you're watching the game. Let's see what you're eating. Let's see what you're drinking. Get them over on #PaddockMatchday over on Twitter. I'll be looking at them all the way throughout the game, so make sure you're doing that. Also be back at half-time, having a quick look at some stats, reading more of your comments and reading some of your tweets. So that's all from me. I'll be back throughout the half and at half time. So make sure you're using that hashtag Paddock Matchday. Over to Steve, Joe, and Jay.
Hello, and we are back. Thanks very much, Alex. Hi, Alex.
Hiya.
How you doing? Stephen Howson is on the way, of course. I'm joined by Jay and Alex, who he ran over. He ran over or something.
Had a shower.
Yeah, exactly. It's 35 minutes till kick-off. Manchester United against Chelsea. Obviously, we're here all the way through. It's a slightly changed format, in case you hadn't noticed. United playing. We starting before the team is. We take you all the way through. It's a real big package production these days, isn't it?
It's
and I'll be honest,
bumper edition.
there's about one person holding it all together, and that's Callum. So thank you very much, Callum.
Holding it all together, is that what you
All
call
super chats will be donated to Callum today.
So he needs some new shoes. Is have fallen through
I know.
because he's been running around so frantically. Right. How are you doing, Jay? You all right?
I'm alright, man. I'm confident. I'm happy.
Really?
I've seen the
Good.
team, and unlike the rest of Manchester United social media, I'm not that negative about it.
People are acting as though this team didn't win 4-1 last week.
Against a much better team than Chelsea.
Yeah, against the best team in the Northwest.
question
Northeast,
is-
sorry, not Northwest.
Do Chelsea have Sam Maximan?
No. Do Chelsea have big boys? I tell you what, Newcastle's manager is better than Chelsea's manager.
I agree. Could not agree more. Steve Bruce is better manager.
Is that
than
even
Frank Lampard.
arguable?
No, it's not.
Steve
No,
Bruce
it
is
is not.
definitely better than.
How many promotions has Frank Lampard got?
0.
How many has Steve Bruce got?
Yeah.
32.
How many Frey Bentos has Frank Lampard got in his cupboard? 0. How many Steve Bruce got? 5,000. He won a
How
lifetime
many?
supply.
How
So
many goals did Frank Lampard score in the 1990-91 European campaign?
yeah, exactly.
Not as many as
Not
Steve
19
Bruce.
like Steve Bruce. How many last
19,
minute?
by the way.
Last
Not in
minute.
Europe, that was in all
last minute
competitions.
winners did
19.
Frank Lampard get against Sheffield Wednesday in 1993? No.
We're hearing that the audio isn't synced. If you could have a look at that potentially, Callum, that would be great. We're going to be taking you all the way through to kick-off. Stephen Howson will be here very shortly.
Yeah, don't worry about him.
Yeah, forget about Stephen Howson. Let's have a little talk about a few things, Jay. Because you've got, I heard that you've
Sound
got
like my
some-
last
you've
arresting
got some-
officer.
You got some shit you want to talk to us about. Is that true?
Yeah, I mean, we're talking. We've just had the quotes. Me and Baggers doing a pre-match show because Baggers hasn't been on the channel for 7 seconds, and that was his third show this day. And we're
This
talking-
day.
yeah,
this day, very sermon-esque.
This day,
On this day,
you shall hear from the Baggers,
24th of October,
Why
our
am I getting
favourite
stick for
Tory.
this?
and lo, Baggers arose to do his.
Don't
not
make me get my
Not
leatherette
but his
laptop.
Oh,
third
we didn't even
video
comment
of the
about
day.
the leatherette thing. Is it? Oh, have you got it?
What is it?
He's got a little leatherette case for his
I've
laptop,
got a
like
little
a little
thing,
stand.
right? Don't worry about
It's
it.
the
What
most
it does is,
Tory thing I've ever seen.
got it off Amazon, about £3. You fold it out,
Yeah,
and your
alright.
laptop is a little bit raised up, and it's much more ergonomic.
Us
is the
poor
word.
people from Salford just have to have it on
Do you know
the
what,
table.
Jay? I'll
No, you balance it on an Argos catalogue.
Yeah,
That's what I
exactly.
do.
Yeah, exactly. Or a betting slip.
Hey, you should see him round corner. He balances his laptop on the new Argos catalogue. Why have I got to balance it on the
Boss,
Argos
get-
catalogue from 2012, Mum?
Oh yeah, we've got a super chat from Aditya Raju. Guys, will Mata be able to cope with the pace of Chelsea? Are you not worried about James not tracking back? Very good question. It's a hot potato.
I don't worry about
catch.
James not tracking back. I think he tracked back really well in some select games last season against Man City specifically. I'm thinking he was up and down the line very well. I don't think Matt is going to have to. I am a little bit concerned about his pace because he's basically hot fudge rolling down a hill, isn't he? He's just like
Hot fudge rolling down a hill.
yeah.
Is that? I've never heard that description.
Don't worry about it.
That famous saying.
That
Yeah.
famous
Oh,
saying.
it's just like hot fudge running downhill.
Hot fudge rolling down a hill. But I think playing just behind the striker or wherever he plays, roaming around a little bit, hopefully he's not going to be tracking back because he's got that like running after people, shuffling his feet along. If he's sort of one-on-one with Werner at any point, I think the problems have already occurred by that time, don't you? It's too late to be worried about Matter's pace when he's one-on-one with Werner. So hopefully he won't be in that position.
Again, this is why we have Fred and McTominay in the team.
Yes.
They do fill in very well. They do manage to cover the cross. They did that so well in midweek against PSG. Anytime that Neymar and Mbappe, even Di Maria got the ball, they kind of shifted over, made it doubled up with Wan-Bissaka. Wan-Bissaka was unbelievable. Made it a lot easier for him to, show him down the line and do the tackles. That's what Fred McTominay do well. It's less reliant on Matt to let him just kind of float around and do his job.
Yeah, I'm not like you. I'm not particularly concerned about Matt. I think
You're not scared, are you?
I'm not scared.
Not scared of
And
Chelsea.
what?
Jay's a big lad. He's not scared of anything. Certainly not this Chelsea
I can
side.
Run and get help if it all kicks off.
Yeah, exactly.
Um,
Scream as loud as you can.
Exactly.
That's what I do.
Um,
Scream and poo at the
He
same
always
time.
has a good game anyway, Matter, against Chelsea, by and large. It's obviously his old team, and he usually turns up against them. As I was saying before, we got down that I won't say rabbit hole, but distracted by that very good question. My sort of bugbear a little bit is the way Lampard gets treated by the media compared to Ole, and even slightly by sort of fans as well, because Lampard's heralded as this sort of
heralded.
Yeah, full of that. I went to
He's
school
a journalist, you know.
Did you?
Yeah, multi-award-winning journalist.
You went to did the 11 plus, went to grammar school.
Past the 11 plus, went to grammar school.
Did you actually? Is that true?
Yeah, I had to get 2 buses to get there.
The 11
I lived
plus
in a
still
council
existed
estate.
when Joe was going to school.
But I
Brilliant.
passed, and my mum, even though I wanted to go to comprehensive with all my mates, she said, "No, you got a grammar, you've got it, and you're going." And thankfully, that led to my 6 GCSEs, A to C. So anyway, Lampard gets treated by the press. Lampard gets treated by the press like he's some sort of tactical genius.
Yeah.
Whereas Ollie's looked at as like he's just sort of fell into this job, lucky to have it, should have got sacked, keeping it warm for Maurizio Pochettino, all the rest of it. And I think that's slightly unfair because when you look at the records, they're almost very similar. And I think the thing people always go on about with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is this idea that he only got the job on a technicality of a legend that recommended you. Like, he got the caretaker job because of his United connections, obviously. Not necessarily what he did at Mulder, but more or less the fact that he was a sort of safe pair of hands. He knew the club, bring him in. But he got the permanent manager's job because he more or less forced that.
Yeah.
Because of the amazing run that it went on. No one thought we were going to win, 11 out of 13 games.
Do you know what he did?
It was ridiculous.
Do you know when, someone has a breakup and what you do is, it's your old friends, everyone comes out, you got a friend who, you've just broken up. I'll go around to her house, make sure she's all right. Next thing you know, you were mates for a long time before this. Next thing you know, hang on a sec, there's a bit of a spark here. Next thing you know, you're going out with one of your best mates because you just happen to be in the right place at the right time and you prove yourself to be trustworthy. That's what he did. He's going out with one of his best mates. And no one suspected that was going to happen, but it did. And this thing as well, where this idea that, it's not a good enough qualification to have been a legend at the club you're managing. Well, how come dozens of managers throughout history, Guardiola, I mean, the list is almost endless in terms of players. Cruyff, players that get managerial jobs at clubs mostly because they played for that club. That's Zidane, same thing.
I was thinking,
it's a well-established route into managing a top team.
And also, I
don't see the problem with it.
Ollie was a reserve coach at United. Went and did his sort of bits at Mulder. Obviously, Cardiff was a disaster, but he was on a hiding to nothing there. Comes back, given the caretaker manager's job, does a good job, gets the permanent job on the back of it. Then you look at Lampard, who, let's face facts, didn't get the Chelsea job because of what he did at Derby County. Didn't go, I tell you what, that guy who's just got more or less the same points as the previous manager at Derby and didn't get them promoted. Let's give him the job here at one of the biggest clubs in the world. No, he got it because he was a legend at Chelsea, which I understand. There's nothing wrong with that. But then his record last season was okay, finished below Ole. But then people say, well, we have this transfer ban and he lost Eden Hazard. Eden Hazard has been shocking. He was on his way out. The transfer ban wasn't a transfer ban. He still bought players. And also, they had something ridiculous, like 60 players out on loan, which he then recalled, the likes of Mason Mount and Sam Abrahams and all the rest of it. And he still had a core of very good players. N'Golo Kante, Olivier Giroud, Azpilicueta. I can't say that name.
Azpilicueta.
Thank you. Azpilicueta. And also some others who I quite rate, like Rudiger, I think is a decent player.
Yeah.
I know not everyone will agree. So he had a core of good players there, calls in all these loanees, still allowed to spend a little bit of money, well, a lot of money actually.
Yeah.
And finishes, he was only just below Ole, but finished below Ole. But people still push this narrative of, Lampard, this great up-and-coming young British manager. Yeah. Ole fell into this job and doesn't know what he's doing. He's beaten Lampard 3 times, for God's sake.
And also,
don't do that by accident.
Three times. 3 out of 4. I couldn't tell you the person who is supposedly going to take over from Frank Lampard at Chelsea. I couldn't tell you the name of the next Chelsea manager. Whereas every single person, whether it's us, whether it's on Twitter, whether it's pundits, whoever it may be, everyone knows that the person being lined up or the person that is rumoured to be lined up is Maurizio Pochettino. That isn't a surprise to anyone. And I think the disrespect of the fact that, first of all, Alex walking in front of the camera every 2 seconds, and second of all, it's like we're waiting for Ole to get sacked so Poch can be the next manager. Whereas it doesn't feel like that's the case with Lampard. It feels like it's, take your time, you're doing a good job, you had this transfer ban. This is a team that won the league 4 years ago. Chelsea won the league, was it 2016 they won the league?
Let's not forget as well, right? People forget, Ole came in December, we were an absolute horror show. The game against Anfield was one of the worst performances by a United team I've ever seen. He's not allowed to go out and buy players in January.
Yeah.
Like, he comes in as caretaker, and the Glazers aren't about to get the checkbook out for a caretaker manager. And also, what happens whilst he's caretaker manager, which is through no fault of his own, we go dishing out these long-term contracts to players that he don't even want. So all these players like Smalling, Jones, Ashley Young are handing Rojo giving these contracts, which he's not in charge of because he's only caretaker, and then he's got to try and get rid of these players who are on 120k a week. And it's like you're actually hindering him. You're not helping him. You're giving players that he doesn't necessarily want long-term, massive contracts so he can't move them on. He does the difficult decisions, the likes of Sanchez, the likes of Lukaku, the likes of Fellaini. He moves them all on. The one player he wants to keep hold of, Herrera, the club mess about, so he can't.
Yep.
Every signing Ollie's made, even, and this might be a controversial opinion, but I don't care, Dan James has been a good signing for Manchester United.
I agree.
They have. Now, you go, Dan James, what, the whole 15 million spent on him.
And he was United's top assist maker until about November last season. I know that he hasn't been incredible, he hasn't necessarily improved that much, but during a really difficult time for United last year, he was one of our main attacking threats when Martial was out for 3 months. I think it was 8 assists he got last season, which, it's not setting the world alight. It was 15 million quid as an emergency backup for someone, and he wasn't even meant to be a first team player straight away, or at least not the first choice in the first team.
It just frustrates me. And you look at, you mentioned there about like Martial was out. We lost Martial for 3 months. We lost Paul Pogba for almost the entire season. Yeah. We lost Marcus Rashford, who was on fire at the time, for a couple of months just before lockdown. He's had to cope with that. And yet, during that time when we've been missing these players, he beats Pep Guardiola, 3 times? Who does that? Do you know what I mean? That's like unheard of, yet he does it. Doesn't get any credit. Beats Lampard, like I say, 3 times. Gets results home and away against Leicester. Admittedly, one of those results is after lockdown when we've got all these players back. Wanted Bruno earlier, didn't get him. Eventually gets him at the end of the January transfer window. Bruno was absolutely amazing, and I just think it's just annoying to see this sort of biasness in the press where Frank's this saviour and Ollie, you're almost waiting for him to fail. Like any loss, right? Get Poch in. He's not up to the job. Do me a favour, come on.
I think the thing with Ollie and Frank, Lampard was always brought in because of the transfer ban. They weren't able to back a manager, and I think there was almost this free hit element to Frank Lampard where they were kind of going, we've not tried this under Abramovich before. They've always had big name managers. They've always gone out and found the biggest name they can that was available, spent the money and got them in. With the transfer ban, they've brought Lampard in, and he's kind of got a free hit at it in the kind of way that Ollie did in the caretaker bit of it. Now, the thing with Ollie is that, everyone can mention the CV, but, Van Gaal came in. I mentioned this just before. Van Gaal come in with the best CV, one of the top CVs in the world, couldn't do it because he was limited by things and didn't get things. And then Mourinho came in, and whilst there was bits of success at times, I don't think he got Manchester United. I don't think he understood what needed to happen. I think that Ollie's come in and he understands that this is how things need to happen. These are the players, these are the standards these players need to set, and this is how it should be, and this is the only way it is. And it's not in terms of the quality of the football almost. It's the point of you need to represent Manchester United in a way of putting 100% in it, and we need to play this kind of football. And Ollie's got that bang on all the way through. I think certainly of the managers we've had post-Fergie, Ollie knows what it is to play for Manchester United, and not just because he played for him, but he's got the work ethic, he understands the club, he understands the fans, and part of that comes from playing for the club. And sometimes when you have a club that, I know a lot of clubs like to think they've got a style of play, and you hear West Ham fans and Newcastle fans coming out and saying, you're not doing it the West Ham way. What's the West Ham way? Have 2 good players in a World Cup 55 years ago. Is that like Newcastle like, we think Steve Bruce has taken us as far as you can go. Where do you think you can go? You're Newcastle, like, fair enough, but United actually have a style of play that has been established. Excuse me, I'm getting emotional. That has been established consistently for 70 years. Now, that is something that needs to be replicated and the club can be proud of. But Jose didn't care about that. He played, he had youngsters on the bench and he played Rashford because he didn't have anyone else. Van Gaal cared about that a little bit, but Ole actually cares about what Manchester United is. And he knows that as well as any of us sat here because he played for us for 15 years. Yeah. And, I think that's and
something
then went on and coached as well.
Exactly. And I think that's something that's a massive thing for United, more than it would be for other clubs. The fact that you have someone in charge who knows what the club is about is a massive thing.
It is, and there's sort of anything Ollie does seems to get scrutinised more than other managers did at United. And the criticism he gets for some of the things is just ridiculous. Like, I've seen people criticising him in press conferences or about his press conferences, saying, why has he said that? Why has he done that? Now, listen, I went to David Moyes' first press conference. He was an absolute rabbit in headlights. And he mentions Bill Shankly as a sort of someone an example to follow. The most ridiculous statement I've ever heard from a Manchester United manager. Louis van Gaal had pieces of paper, was triggered by Sam Allardyce, and had pieces of paper to prove that he didn't play long ball. Jose Mourinho brought a piece of paper with a list of 45 names on it to his first Manchester United press conference. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer backs his players, sticks up for them, says when he's, he wants more signings, does exactly what we want him to do, and people go, oh, look at him, he doesn't know what he's doing, he's Glazers huge. What are you on about? Yeah.
Speaking of backing his players and sticking up for people, I want to talk a little bit about Mason Greenwood as well.
Good.
Before we get into the game. We've seen in the last sort of couple of weeks, was it 2 or 3 weeks ago, on duty for England, he was sent home for getting birds back to the hotel and that, him and Phil Foden.
Just bowl them birds, mate.
Yeah.
Bowl them again.
Bowl them birds. So yeah, it was, a couple of girls went back to the hotel. So this story began of Mason Greenwood maybe being a bit of a tricky customer, a bit of a troublemaker, whatever. Then he's dropped for the Newcastle game last week. He didn't play, or he's dropped, or he's not fit, or he was out of the squad for the Newcastle game. Then he was out of the squad for the PSG game. And then a couple of days ago, the reports started coming from Sky Sports, from other outlets, saying Mason's been warned about his conduct at United. He's often late for training, general tardiness, these sorts of things. And then, we're expected to think, or we are being told to think, that there's problems with Mason Greenwood. But then, all of a sudden, Solskjaer comes out and says, sorry to disappoint you all, he's never late for training, he's a model professional, there's no problem with Mason Greenwood. First of all, we spoke about it in the podcast, Jay, and obviously Alex as well, we'll come to both of you in a minute. We spoke about it in the podcast and said, is this a problem if he is turning up for training late? Secondly, now, there's another layer to this of, is he even turning up for training late? Do you think that he is and Solskjaer's covering for him? Do you think that a lot is being made out of something very small? And if so, why hasn't he been playing then? Or, do you think Solskjaer's covering his man here? Or do you think this has all been blown out of proportion and the press have got a new target in Mason Greenwood?
There may be a little bit of both sort of things there. There may be some sort of slight issue or whatever, but it's been blown out of proportion because it's Manchester United. And you want to put a headline with the words Manchester United in it because people are going to click on it. Either way, I don't know Mason Green. I never even, don't know him at all. But
never met him.
I've met him. I shadowed at school once in class. I'll never forget. I've told you the story. The teacher said, "That's Mason. He gets to leave early for training. He plays for Manchester United." We've
tried what you said at the time.
We've tried to
bet he does.
We've tried to get him to focus on his schoolwork, but he just won't listen. I'm trying to tell him most footballers
he always
don't
turns
make
up
it.
late for English. And you're like, oh my god, it's true.
Write that down.
Yeah,
exactly. I'll sell that. But listen, he's got good people around him. I think I was chatting to Dave the other day. He says his dad was always at the academy, and he's got strong influence there. I don't really think there's an issue there. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has addressed it because it become this story. He's backed him. And also, let's not forget, Mason Greenwood has the greatest person you can have as an influence in his squad in young Marcus Rashford, a lad who's come through the academy, a lad who's had his critics in the past. People have questioned Marcus whether he's good enough, all this other garbage. And he's now, basically de facto Prime Minister. So I'm not too worried about Mason Greenwood. I think there's enough good people around him to keep him on the straight and narrow if he even needs to be kept on the straight and narrow.
Yeah, I agree. I think Mason Greenwood's done really, really well with. It was strange with England how they kind of put him in the firing line straight away with England. I think that was one of the main difficulties with it all, where United hadn't put him to any press whatsoever, hadn't done any press conferences whatsoever for a long, long time, and then all of a sudden, England first person, right? Mason Greenwood, you're doing that, which is just ridiculous. It was badly treated, and then obviously
Joe's back, by the way.
There was a problem there with what happened in Iceland. But after that, it just all seemed very strange with how it was dealt with, and then I think it got made a bigger thing when Southgate dropped him as well. So I think Ollie has maybe said, you know what, let's kind of ease him back into the team again. It worked last season where he didn't play too much all the way through. They kind of eased it into it, and then he obviously had the great end to the season. Then maybe there's a little bit of that now where they're gonna, ease him into this season again, make sure he's not overawed by anything that's been going on. and hopefully he comes back, maybe comes on today and starts firing again. But, he's still a young lad. He's still doing really well for Manchester United.
It seems like a big storm in a teacup.
It does, doesn't it? And it was only really a couple of places that were reporting this story that he's been turned up for late for training. They didn't seem to have any quotes. It all just seemed to be very circumstantial and who knows what's going on rather than anything concrete at all. So, it's hard to say really, isn't it? But I don't know. I just think that the likelihood is that nothing's going on, and that they want a story for someone who they've decided is trouble or who they've decided is problematic. So it's hard to know really exactly what's going on, isn't it?
It is hard to know what's going on, but I think I'm pleased with the way Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has handled this. I think you do the right thing. You address it. You say it's a load of nonsense. You back your player. I think Ole has the respect of his players. There's this nonsense that goes around. I don't want to keep going on about defending Ole because I've just done it and people are going, "Oh, Jay, give it a rest." But there was this myth that Ole almost wasn't respected by the players. He came in, he was dead nice to him because he wasn't Jose Mourinho, and then it's like, oh, he's too soft. We've seen it. We've seen him on the touchline screaming at Jesse Lingard, one more, and you're effing off.
Yeah.
So don't give me this nonsense that someone that survives the Norwegian winters is soft, because he ain't.
No.
Do you know what I mean? You're not.
No.
We've seen it as a player. There was a little bit of steel to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and let's face facts, you can't handle personalities like Paul Pogba, like some of the other players. We've got Anthony Martial, and I'm not just naming the French players, but the players that we've got that are big personalities, that are big stars, that have a lot of sway, they do, because of the sort of the talent they've got, the marketability they've got. They have a lot of sway. Jose couldn't handle it.
Yeah,
to a lesser extent, Louis van Gaal couldn't handle it with certain players. Ole has done. He's handled it in the right way. He's getting the best out of these players because he's respected. So it just seems like people, again, they either look for a story that isn't there or they look for an excuse to bash a young, and I'll say it, talented black lad or the Manchester United manager. And I just think people need to move on.
Yeah, and it seemed like as well for all of the time that Ole's been manager. I know it's a separate thing, almost back to the last point, but it seems as though there's just been an open season on United. Whenever they're doing well, it's look at this player who's done well for him. It's Bruno's fault that they've done well, or Bruno's credit that they've done well. Whenever they've done badly, Solskjaer's got to go. There's never been any mainstream or even social media.
Don't you think it's game by game?
It's ridiculous.
I've never seen. I mean, I've understood it if like Ole went and lost 8 games on a trot, but he'll at least have one result.
And where is it?
It's like, that's it.
What is it? Who is it? And what is it that is perpetrating and that is pushing this thing of Ole out, Ole in? You have to pick your side and you have to stick to it no matter what. Where is this? There was a
point, right, where, and I'll be honest, because people could dig out all videos, I was moising at one point. I was sticking up for him. I mean, it was quite early on, I'm not going to lie. But there was a time when you like give the manager a chance, let him at least have a crack at this, because he's just come in and obviously, Fergie wanted him. I know he says he doesn't anymore, but Fergie wanted him. You back him. But then you get to a point where, for me, it was Fulham at home, where you're like, no, this can't carry on. Do you know what I mean? And it's the same with Jose. I was pro Jose until...
Prose.
That's done. Until, ironically, the game against Anfield was the one where I couldn't defend him. Against Anfield FC. It's the new name for Liverpool.
Pro Evo, innit?
Pro Evo, yeah. So against Liverpool, you're like, this makes no sense. The tactics don't make any sense. It's almost like he's sabotaging his own United career. So you back a manager to a certain point, but it wasn't after like one result or one poor result where you go, that's it now. Which to some United fans, it doesn't. There's even this sort of sense. It's not just the media, but where I saw some narrative going on social media the other day, and this was journalists and so-called, well, they are United fans, so I shouldn't say that, but journalists and United fans, that the win against PSG was a bad thing because Poch might end up at PSG before we can get him at United. I mean, honestly, just bore off with the absolute. Just if you can't enjoy a win against Paris Saint-Germain away, you're just mentally ill.
I don't know what Poch comes in and does. I think that maybe, he'll lift the team a bit. The same way that Ole did.
Maybe he'll win as many trophies at United as he's won the rest of his career.
And maybe, we start playing, maybe he gets us playing a little bit better football early. But the thing that's going to progress Manchester United is signings. That's the one thing, and that's the one thing that everyone said. And until Ole gets them players over the line, it's not we're going to be as good as the players we've got. And I think we are performing as strong as these players are right now. And I think that's the one thing that you say is that Manchester United are performing up to the standard of the players that they've got at their disposal.
Yeah,
people asking where Steve and Howson is. Where is Steve? Where's Steve? I'm looking at him.
Yeah, he'll be coming on.
He's just doing his hair and makeup, getting into character, because after off camera he's dead nice and kind.
We had a super chat then from Rebecca saying that the audio and video are slightly out of sync. We are in the process of fixing that. We know it's slightly late. We'll do it now. We'll get it on now.
He was waiting
sorry
to
about
do
that.
it.
But if the screen flickers,
ever so slightly.
Yes.
that may
But
be.
that should be us.
It should be okay
It
now.
should be
hopefully.
okay. So well done.
Stephen Howson is about to come into the studio,
It's
into
like
the
Elvis,
set.
isn't it? He's
It
in the
is.
building.
It is in his
Is
later
he coming?
years.
Should we give him
Let's
a
be
drum
honest.
roll?
You go there. Go to there.
Oh, he's got to swap his
classic
t-shirt. He's going to get into his
Sopping
into
wet,
his
'cause he's been
rhine.
out in Manchester's finest weather.
Yeah, he's going to get into his rhinestone onesie like a late Elvis. This is Elvis in the Vegas years, if the belly's anything to go by. Alex has left the building.
And all he got was a raise of the eyebrow.
And look, well, he can't hit me because social distancing.
That's very true. That was a
He
great point.
can
Now's the
throw
time to
something at
start
me maybe in a little
throwing
bit.
shade
It was
at,
only a joke anyway. We all
Stephen
joke.
Howson.
He calls me a stupid, long-earned, hippie-looking twat. So he can take a little bit of fat shaming.
I know you did it on the preview, but I'd like to hear it again if you've not.
Go on.
Predictions.
You want to hear my Bruce Forsyth impression, don't you?
Go on then. Go on, do it.
I can't even think what it sounds like. And it's good night from him. That's two Ronnies. Fuck. I don't know. What does Bruce Forsyth say? Nice to see you.
To see you.
Nice.
So
Very
much better
good.
than last week's.
Right, what did I actually do on the preview then? Because
What was your prediction?
Oh, my prediction. Can't remember.
I don't watch videos.
I can't remember, but it has to change after you know the team names anyway, I think, because
Yes.
there's so much that goes into it. The fact that you don't... My prediction was based on my predicted 11, which included Cavani, which included Tellez. Now we know that the actual lineup. I think we're going to... I don't
get
think
rid of that spam,
I think we'll
please?
struggle a little bit. I don't think this is a lineup that can't win the game. I don't think this is a lineup where you go, oh my God, Ollie's made a mistake. Obviously, you don't know. We saw a lineup last year in the FA Cup where we had a lot of our strongest players in there and we got battered. It's not necessarily a case of best players win every game. Because first of all, your best players can't play every match because they'll die. Second of all, sometimes your best players aren't your best player for every match. So I think the team that he's gone for, it's a rotated squad from the PSG game. The likes of Mata in there especially, and Dan James have a point to prove and will have fresh legs. So I'm hopeful that we can, turn around what has been pretty poor home form for the start of the season. I'm going to say 2-1 Manchester United, but it's going to be tricky because Chelsea are equally good going forward and equally shaky at the back. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I agree. I think I expect it to be a lot closer than it was at Old Trafford last season in the league. I don't think we're going to win 4-0, even though I may have been jokingly saying that before. I do fancy us. I think we're nice.
Who else do you fancy?
I do think that we are the better team, and I'm not too dismayed by that starting 11. People were losing their minds before Newcastle, and again, I know it's a different team, but you've got to trust Ollie a little bit. You know, people were losing their minds against Paris, going, "Oh, what's he doing here?"
People lose their minds every single time,
Yeah, and I
unless
think,
you play. Sorry to interrupt, but unless you play that 1-11 that won all those games a few months ago. Unless you play that 1-11, switch
How
cameras,
did you get
please.
that wrong, you
Because I'm
two
talking.
clowns?
Well, because he had it on the wrong person, so he didn't think it would be. Unless you play that 1-11, people aren't happy. There's a super chat there. Someone says, "How does Axel not start?" Can you get a little scroll back up on that so I can read the rest of it, please?
Also, what happened to Tellez? Sorry, I'll continue for you.
Who's sent that in?
This is from Marcus Wynn. How does Axel not start, as you said? Also, what happened to Tellez? But I reckon we win 2-1. Love the content, lads.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Marcus.
Mark Brim, we'll get back to that.
As well, Marcus, you've got the greatest first name ever.
Mark Brim has come in and said, "How old is Jay? I can't tell if he's 34 or 54. He's slap bang in the middle. 44. He's not.
See, I'm not. I'm 40.
Is he?
I'm not even 41 till January. I'm barely 40.
That's it. Yeah, that's ages away, isn't it? Varun Chandar come in with the super chat as well. Today is about Fred versus Kante. Maybe. It depends, because we've seen Kante under other managers or previous managers play as almost an attacking midfielder against United, and he scored a couple of goals against United as well, hasn't he? So hopefully we don't get the Kante that scores. I think 2 of his 4 career goals have been against Manchester United. Something ridiculous. Something like that. It's for Chelsea. But he likes to goal against United. Hopefully we don't see that, but we need to see the industriousness of Fred and McTominay pulling us through today, I think.
What have you made of Fred and McTominay? Because people sort of do question it when they start. And there's a lot. I know. Don't worry about this empty seat as well. Stephen Howson's going to be in it very shortly.
Yeah, it's not some vigil. He's just getting changed.
Don't worry. It's like we've kept an empty seat for Virgil van Dijk.
Yeah, exactly.
Who
can't be here because he doesn't work for the channel.
Yeah. Fred and McTominay gets a lot of stick.
I've given him stick in the past as well. I think they are both players who have a limited skill set, but I like the current sort of. It seems as though Ole has a better understanding of that skill set now, and I don't think he thinks he can do everything. I think he knows they're suited to certain matches and not suited to other matches, which I like. I like that we've got players. We've got Matic, we've got Pogba, we've got Van der Beek, Bruno, McTominay, and Fred. All of these players are good role players who have a role in the squad. So when you need someone to do that role, you put that player in. I like that, obviously you want to have a starting 11 that you know is your best 11. But if you've got players, sometimes you need a Matic in there. Sometimes you need that energy of Fred and McTominay. Sometimes you need the calmness on the ball and the passing ability of Paul Pogba, who I do still think will come back into the starting lineup permanently at some point. But I was impressed with them against PSG. I do think, they got a lot of credit last season and some of it quite rightly, but they were also the midfield when we were 7th. So it's not as though they impressed so much.
I don't know if you read it.
Got us into the
Someone
top 4.
in the super chat, Varun Chanda says today's about Fred versus Kante.
Yeah, I've read that before.
Oh, sorry.
We've got Trafford 92 with the super chat as well. 2-0 MUFC, soak up the pressure and drown out midfield.
Drown out midfield, I like that.
Yeah. That sounds like a Radiohead album. 5-0 United. We've got some score predictions in the comments as well. Did you give a score prediction, Jay?
I'll go with 3-1.
Wow.
I fancy that. I think that when you look at... We had our little sort of sticky patch. I get the impression that Manchester United now have sort of... They've got over this initial issue we had where we had lack of Zet.
Plays for Arsenal, mate. What are you on about?
Lack of Zet. Oh, yeah, that was a problem. We've got over this thing where we had... we sort of feeling the effects of not having a pre-season.
Yeah.
We looked lethargic. We looked like we weren't at the races at all. You saw it against Brighton. You saw it against Crystal Palace. We now seem to be taking baby steps. Like, obviously, the Spurs game was a sort of massive wake-up call, and it was like, oh, my God, this season already is sort of stumbling towards disaster. But since then, you can see we look more like the Manchester United would expect, because these aren't bad players. Paul Pogba, for example, isn't a bad player.
No.
Marcus Rashford and Andy Martial aren't bad players. I know Martial's obviously suspended today, but we've seen them now looking more like those players that we said. Paul Pogba came on against Newcastle, thought he played very well. We saw it against Paris, the players there. Marcus Rashford was superb. Bruno, who looked tired towards the end of last season and has looked tired at points this season, looks like he's getting his sort of, his mojo back. So it seems as though we're back fitness-wise to where we need to be. And I think this is a good test for us, because Chelsea have had an almost similar start to ourselves. They've been good in some games, other games they've not looked, at the races at all. But this will be a good test to see where we're up to as well. And, Ollie obviously has gone with a team that won against Newcastle, so those players have got to step up.
With 2 minutes to go until kickoff, can we get the team back on the screen just for a couple of minutes for everyone at home, as the master, Stephen Howson, arrives to take his rightful throne at the point of the diamond. Oh, no, he's not. He's going over there where Jay was, kept his seat warm for him. Here's the team, Steve. Unchanged team from the Newcastle side. I know you've been busy today. What are your thoughts on this team?
I think it's interesting because obviously he's made a big decision there, leaving Pogba out.
Yeah.
Big decision to play Dan James again, which I thought, I think a little bit ineffective at times. Although I think he'll be more effective and makes more sense against these. And again, Matta's the opposite. Matta makes less sense against Chelsea than he would, because I expect us to try and look and break and stuff like that. So we'll see. Big calls. Lots of question marks, and probably rightly so. Van der Beek, Cavani, Pogba, Axel.
Tellez as well.
Tellez.
Yeah.
5 players there that you could make a case that probably should have been playing at some point. So
I do.
But they've gone with the back 3. I use the live score app, and I was looking on the live score app live as the team news came in, and it had a back 3 of Lindelof, Shaw, Maguire, Wan-Bissaka and Tellez. Them 2 in midfield with Bruno and Mason and Rashford up front.
You'd love that.
And I went,
yeah, that's your sort of side, that.
And as I'm nodding, buzzing, it changed to that, and I was like, what happened there?
That must have been their predicted one.
Maybe, yeah.
We've got Christopher Robin,
Before we start, sorry. If you saw my preview where I spoke about the opposition and how I think that you've got a real issue with Kante and Jorginho, if they're playing in a midfield 4 look out for just holes in the
Yeah.
centre of this pitch.
Okay. For those of you who weren't around, we have extended the watch-along now to cover well before team news all the way through to the end of the match. So you get Stephen's opposition preview, you get all sorts of extra features in the watch-along. For those of you who've just turned up now, the show now started at 4 o'clock today, starts an hour and a half before kickoff and goes right the way through till the end of the show, so make sure you start checking out the watch-alongs even earlier.
All right.
Christopher Robin,
Mate.
with the super chat,
I like his books.
the author of
Winnie the Pooh.
of
He's
course.
not the author, he's the protagonist.
He's
he's the main
he's the protagonist, not the author. I like to think he
Milne's
wrote
the
it.
author.
I like to think he wrote it. He's sent £5 and he said, sorry for calling you a fanny, Joe, and well done on finishing at Egg. Today we need to dig deep for a win after the shift they put in Paris. I think we do need to dig in deep. It's almost, I know it's not that much of a changed team, but it almost feels like you're watching a completely different side to the one against Paris. Don't you? No Martial, obviously, no Tellez, no Pogba, who came on in that game, I suppose, but it just feels very different. I think Dan James always gives a completely different feel to things. Are you worried that we might look a bit short in midfield after what Steve was saying there?
Well, it'll be interesting to see that, and I will be following his advice and looking out for that. I mean, I think whenever we see this midfield, we've seen it every time. Everyone's like, from a United point of view, we're like, oh, what's he doing? But, you know, it has sort of delivered the last few games, so it'll be interesting to see how it pans out. Also, that bench, we saw how Van der Beek and Pogba.
What is the bench? Everyone else?
Yeah, basically. Tellez isn't on the bench, isn't it? He's not in the squad.
Is he not?
That's interesting.
No, he's not. But you've got Pogba, you've got Van der Beek, you've got Greenwood. There's options there, and you think if those three were to come on, Cavani as well, of course. If those three were to come on, or those four, if you're allowed that, I don't even know the rules anymore.
You're not.
Right, obviously. Those three then.
Those number.
As we saw against Newcastle, I said this earlier, last 20 minutes, you bring on like Paul Pogba, Donny van der Beek, and one of Mason Greenwood or someone else, Cavani, it's going to be a bit of a nightmare for you.
It is. There was, interestingly...
Scott. That was a shit pass.
It was that even too. It was way too hard for Bruno. It must have been going for Rashford there.
Good Manchester weather, this, isn't it?
Yeah, he's proper chucking it down in it, Steve.
Don't give me dirty looks.
He stood out in the rain doing his gardening.
No. Got wet.
Got very wet.
Did you?
Might have not got more wet if I'd have gone fully dressed in the bath.
Well,
it feels like it, but then when you actually do that, it's way wetter than being in the rain. Well, I've never actually done it, but I've done it where
I think you should do it.
I've put shampoo in my hair and stood outside when it was raining once. Did not come off. Just dribbled down my face, went into my eyes. So if you ever think it's raining hard enough to shampoo your head as a laugh, it probably isn't.
Was it a laugh, or was this just like
it felt like a laugh
poverty
until I
thing where you
were
that skin?
You also have more hair.
When I were a lad,
I
we had to shower in the rain.
Hair like yours.
Okay.
Yeah. I had hair like Steve's for most of my life. I ain't been like a long-haired kid in that. Up until I was about 21, 22, I had short hair. Maybe 20, 23 even. Loved it. Loved short hair. Great times, actually. I miss it a bit.
It's annoying, right? I know I say this all the time, and obviously no game in the Premier League has fans, but this is the sort of game where you've just beaten Paris. It's Chelsea. It's a later kickoff where Old Trafford would be absolutely buzzing. It really would. It just pains me when I'm watching this and there's no fans.
I've come up with an insult for how bad PSG were. Yeah, he is. I've come up with an insult. Paris Saint-Germain, more like Crystal Paris. We lost Crystal Palace this season.
So,
shit.
So you feeling confident today?
I am, yeah.
I need to think of another one.
Do you want to leave the room? 5 minutes.
I'm gonna go.
You can come back.
I thought
Think
Crystal
about
Paris worked until I remembered they battered us. For fuck's sake. Anyway,
when did you realise
they
that?
wish they were Crystal Paris.
When did you realise that as you were just telling us
as
that
I was
joke?
saying it, yeah.
You thought, oh no, that doesn't
there we
work.
go, final third.
Go on, lad.
There's no one to put it in the box to there, is there really? Rashford's jogging in.
Swing one in for one man, no?
Probably not.
Get on
Yes,
that.
yeah.
Old
Matt, get
China.
your head on that, son.
He's not bad in the air, but he's 4'3", so it does make it
Not a fan of the
difficult.
telly doing that, right?
I know,
Yeah.
flickering.
I don't know if it's the HDMI cable or what, but
I think it is. I'd be surprised if that was the old Sky. It's more of a cable thing, that, isn't it?
I
yeah,
think
it seems like it. But that was the one that was plugged into the back of that PC. I just put it with one.
Just double check that it's plugged in for us, please, young Coloom.
Chilwell on the left into
Both.
Werner, I believe.
That's not right, is it?
Just dropping off him there. Don't drop off him. Fucking hell.
Wan-Bissaka made
Let
it.
him all the way, almost to the 6-yard line there, without putting a tackle in.
Could be the weather.
Could be the weather.
You get
the rain, doesn't it?
them
It's that
tricky-
fine rain as well, soaks you through.
No, it's not
tricky
fine
digital.
rain.
No, is it not?
It's blobber rain.
Go on.
Blobber rain.
Unlucky down.
Everyone knows the blobber rain. have you physically shoved it in?
Oh,
Don't just look at it and go, yeah, that's in.
Bit sneaky, that one. Bit cheeky. Maybe it's the signal.
Yeah, maybe it's the old weather.
Maguire back in the squad after his injury midweek. One of them injuries that only seems to happen when you're playing against one of the fastest, or potentially playing against one of the fastest strikers in the world, and Kylian Mbappe. That's a weird injury, isn't it?
Blobber rain, told you.
What injury do you think he had?
What?
What injury do you think he had?
I think he had I need a night off itis.
I think he might have done as well.
It's a recurring injury.
Yeah, ever present in PL since joining Man United, Harry Maguire.
It's not a bad bit of statage.
It's good actually. He's played every single minute. That's mad, isn't it? That is
You
impressive.
don't often sub your centre halves.
No, but the
Shit's gone
it's
west when you
unusual-
start subbing centre halves.
True, but it's unusual as a United fan to see a centre half be available for every single Premier League match for a year.
That's true.
That's very unusual.
I mentioned the other day, I was talking about, someone asked me, is it time to get rid of Bay with his injuries? And I said, yeah, probably. And he was like, Phil Jones? Well, yeah, I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
Like, I wasn't saying keep Phil Jones.
No.
Sling him.
Dean Henderson eating a what looks to be a 11's bar there. If I'm getting the flavour, I think that's cinnamon. Looks lovely. He's on the bench. Do you think he's going to struggle to get any games now this season? Because De Gea, so far, has been pretty impeccable. He's not, obviously, in the Europa League last year, we saw Romero get games.
Ignoring the first game of the season?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We're ignoring that. But obviously last season and the season before, Romero was playing Europa League matches. Now it's Champions League. You can't afford to rest your goalkeeper in that competition.
No, and you can't do it at, like, Paris Saint-Germain away.
No.
That would have been mental.
Yeah.
As much as you go, yeah, you're the cup keeper. Mental.
Yeah, exactly.
Sounds off, Alex.
So you're worried that he's not going to get many games at all?
You
You think he's worried about not getting any games?
Dean Henderson, I don't know. I mean, you imagine he's had a conversation with Ollie and Ollie said, you know, you're not just coming back here to warm the bench. I know he's played in the Carabao Cup.
Yeah.
He might have the
It's
FA
not
Cup.
a lot of games,
I know,
obviously.
he might have the FA Cup as well. Maybe, you know, I
Got
know
the French.
you can argue this season there aren't any easy games.
There you
But
go.
maybe
That was
gets
early
a
ball, early
couple of
doors.
Premier League starts.
Marcus triple marked.
If they've got any decency, they'll let Marcus Rashford get a goal.
No, I'm
Yeah.
saying.
But,
But they are
like-
Chelsea and
Yeah,
Tories.
decency and Tories, yeah, exactly.
The issue I'm seeing here is you look at that and you go, outside of Bruno, probably let Mata and James have it a little bit and concentrate on those two and maybe take a bit of a risk letting Marcus have it.
Gio Franco talking about the risks of this of our attack. He's with the super chat. He said, "No tellers who will whip in a decent cross." Lol. Well, no one is the answer to that question. But we haven't whipped in a decent cross in about 15 years, so I think they know how to play without great crossing now. And really, you know, crossing it into Rashford and Mata, as we said before, isn't necessarily the best chance of scoring goals ever, is it? Anyway, so
Flicking a peanut at an elephant.
yeah, exactly. Oh, that's a poor passion. We played a lovely one too. I mean. Oh, fucking hell. I gave you a benefit
so
of the
many
doubt.
there, you got a second
Threw it
bite
away
of cherry.
twice.
And he's
Look how close them
poor
two are
passing
in
there.
midfield. Bruno doing a bit of pressing,
He's
wins
done
it
well
back.
there.
McTominay just heads it to no one.
That's got to be our ball. Well done, Rashford. That screen's gone off again, Alex.
Doing a great job there, Alex.
Doing all right.
Eating his
So,
dinner.
just you eat your dinner and leave it. Yeah, we lost.
You seem all right. Let's get it out of the way. Go on.
I'm actually not as upset as I was the last couple of weeks.
Stretford Paddock FC.
Yeah,
this
we're
is,
talking
by
about
the way.
Stretford FC, which Stephen is the manager of. That's why he was wet when he got here, because
Yeah.
he's been stood on the touchline.
Crying. That's why his t-shirt was
Says
wet.
Last few weeks,
disappointment.
we've dropped points against teams that had no right to be on the same pitch as us.
Right, okay.
Today we played a good team.
Who was you playing today? Moston?
Moston, yeah.
Moston. Was it a rough game?
Obviously.
No?
I mean, it did go off.
Fair enough.
I mean, yeah, Ronaldo.
That boy Ronaldo.
Yeah.
Well,
Mr.
what's he
Brown.
up to?
Oh,
Yeah, I don't know.
Super chat from Dan Andy. All right, fellas. Did you catch the under-23s match last night? Brandon played well. Do you think Rojo still has a place in the squad?
No.
But again, though, you put him on the list of the players you already mentioned. Bailly, Jones, Rojo. Centre-backs that maybe... Bailly's only maybe just been introduced to that list just because he keeps getting injured. But players who maybe shouldn't still be knocking about, who we are going to really struggle to get rid of because they're on
can't get rid of.
100 grand a week plus, all of them.
Reece James against Dan James is a right good matchup for Reece James. He's the perfect person to play against him. If you play someone a bit cleverer against him, but if you're just going for raw speed against him, he's going to eat that
He's
up all
offside
day long.
there. Yeah.
Oh, it's tight though, that. What, Dan James? Centimetre offside there. That's not usually one of the ones that the linesman puts the flag up for these days, is it?
VAR.
Yeah. But I suppose with that, you were never going to get a VAR unless we scored from it.
Our passing's not been great today.
It's been shit.
So far.
We've given the ball away a lot. It's like we've never played in the rain before.
I know.
Everything's overhit or just getting
stuck.
stuck.
From Manchester.
Yeah, exactly.
Rather
McTominay's given it away about 4 times, and so has Fred. It's a strange game. There's not
one of those places in the world which have more rain than Manchester.
There is. There's places with probably 3, 4, 5 times more rain, isn't there?
No, not possible.
What?
Manchester
downpour per month. Okay. You mean wet days?
Yeah. Manchester has about 200 and something rain days per year, so you can't
definitely inches though. Definitely inches. Yeah.
Because Manchester's. Here's the thing, right? Manchester's skies are just the colour of Alex's top.
Yeah.
And then you get the occasional blue one.
And your top as well.
Yeah.
The background of it.
Heather grey.
Yeah.
Right. You just get that all year round.
Yeah.
That's Manchester sunshine.
Yeah. If the clouds are white rather than grey, it's a good day. But that's about as good as it gets, isn't it? You get occasional blue sky.
And did you know the reason why the cotton industry started the way it did in Manchester is because of the moistness?
What? That's a good. You don't want it to be too dry.
They not moist?
Apparently, I mean, I wouldn't know because I was born in the last century, not the previous century. When you're doing whatever you're doing with cotton, it breaks if the air's a bit dry.
Too dry.
So Manchester being at the foot of the old Pennines, and it being a rainy old place, they found out it was just perfect for...
Gives that cotton that little extra spring in its step.
Spinning a bit of cotton. So this whole city is here because it rains.
That's good, isn't it?
Mad that.
I wonder what we'd be doing otherwise. What do they do in dry places?
Well, what's on the other side? Leeds.
Yeah. They're
farming, innit?
What, Lincoln and that? Lincoln, because it's flat, they have all the farms. Very flat, that part of the world.
He's not having the best time of it, is he, Dan James, against Reece James, as you pointed out. It seems like that's...
a good play, Reece James.
Yeah. I mean, I know it's only early days, but...
Cavani.
Speaking of good
Edinson
players.
sat there in the rain thinking, what have I done?
Yeah. Most top league scorers, since 2007, he's third on the list behind Messi and Ronaldo. He's got half the goals that they have, or just north of half the goals that they have.
Ridiculous, isn't it?
He's got 250 league goals in the last 13 years. But again, as we've said, he has been one of the top strikers in the world for the last decade. So hopefully there's still something in the tank.
I like the facts as well. I mean, I know you can't sell a lot from the training footage, but it does seem like he's quite vocal. You know he's got the experience. From the journalists we've all spoken to and from what we've heard, he's a positive influence for any team he's in terms of his training, his attitude. Yeah. And, you know, youngsters, we were talking about Mason Greenwood, Marcus Rashford, who's still young, people forget. They can learn something from him. You know, he's been there and worn a T-shirt. And when you bring that, when you have a player who's won that many trophies and has scored that many goals, who still has that hunger and that attitude in training, it influences you. It shows you don't rest on it. And that's something maybe we've been missing a little bit with, you know, when the old school moved on, the likes of Giggs and all those players moved on because of
Rio
the
and
old. Yeah. You miss a little bit of that because they were always a good influence, weren't they, for the younger players? They're like, listen, Ryan Giggs might be the most highly decorated player in the world, but he still gives his all in training. You know, when you've got a player who's third in the all-time scoring charts for the last 10 years, and he's still giving his all in training, it makes the others sort of fix up.
He didn't need to come to United either. There's some paydays where you can put your feet up, and this isn't one of them.
No, you can. I mean, you can go to
MLS
and just get paid.
Or China or Russia or
China's not off the cards, I think now.
Is it?
Oh, is it?
They limited everyone to like 30 grand a year.
What? that's a bit of a...
Which is still probably triple what the league makes. So they're still probably out of pocket, but not by the same way they were.
They said anyone who's got an existing contract, obviously legally they can't kick you out, but no one's allowed to sign an extension. So I don't know what's happening with Old Odeon.
No.
With what, sorry?
Old Odeon.
The cinemas?
No. Higalo.
Yeah, I wonder what's going on there. Because people were saying that he was going to get another big contract, weren't they? Do you remember those reports a few months ago?
Yeah,
saying,
that's what it made no sense at the time because that rule had come in.
Yeah, it was a bit weird, but maybe they've just...
I mean, it was a bit of a, like, I don't know. I think the fairy tale, I was saying this on the preview, well, not the preview, sorry, the pre-match, I think the fairy tale's over for him here. Now
yeah, but he still had it. Like, I think if we'd have signed Cavani earlier in the summer, he wouldn't have given Igalo that extension, and he would have left off in the sunset like the end of Greece, just in this car, and it just lifts off the road up into the sky. You're like, he could fly all along. But obviously now he signed the extension. He's not really in the team. We've replaced him with someone better. But I don't think that's necessarily a knock on him. He did more than the job that people thought he was going to do when we got him.
There was a real feel-good factor as well, wasn't there?
Yeah.
I know you've
In a time when there wasn't much feel-good around United.
It was like real positivity. Came in, like you say, he was absolutely loving it. Even like his social media and stuff, it was great to see. Scored some good goals as well. Not that Steele remember it, but the one against LASK was mint.
Saw the replay.
Good step across there, Maguire.
Why do you want memories anyway?
Yeah, why does anyone want memories?
Yeah.
That's all we've got.
Someone would have been there and someone would have wrote it down and it'll be in a book one day. Why do I need to remember it?
What book do you think our watch-along for the LASK game?
Talking about watch-along, I'm talking about Hody and Agallo scoring a goal.
Oh, sorry.
I love Paul Lindsay's comment. He wouldn't have scored that with fans in the ground.
Does he say that?
Yeah.
Good lad.
Based on what?
Based on facts, Jay.
Oh, I'll tell you what.
God.
Let's have more Paulins.
Yeah.
No, let's have more
I agree.
Paulins.
I think we need more, as much Paul Ince as possible. I think he's great.
More Paulins.
I mean, he's not,
Why is he just
particularly
run?
good at stuff. He was a great footballer.
I'm talking about Jay.
Oh, Jay.
Jay just started running.
Yeah, I think he's done that thing, where he has to go to the toilet now. Otherwise,
Hey, that's age, that.
I've had an accident.
Yeah.
It's got to be his age. It's got to be. He'll come back either looking sheepish because he didn't make it in time, or victorious and buoyant.
Wearing new pair of shorts, Jay.
Jay, why you just got a towel around your waist? What's going on?
Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Rashford getting headed in the back of the head there from Kurt Zuma. Coming back on the pitch. I think you have to go off anytime someone hits your head, don't you? I'll tell you what, Steve, if it keeps going the way it is with PC culture, every time they head the ball, they'll have to go for treatment soon. What do you think to that? Your face. What did you say, Alex? You can't edit it under 12s? In America. They're not even allowed to edit.
It is coming in over here, I think.
Don't need to. If you're good enough, you use your feet. Something. Hi, Jay. Did we have an emergency, lass?
You know how it is when you're 40 years old.
No, I don't.
Is that what it was? We should just get you a bucket under the chair.
Sit down and a rest now.
Or have you sat on a big,
get settled.
Have you on a big commode so you can just leak into the bucket underneath you as the watch-along goes along.
Because we've extended the live show, I've had to wait a little longer.
His bladder didn't get the memo, did it? Hey, come on, boys. Chelsea got a corner. They've had a lot of the ball last few minutes, haven't they, Chelsea? It seems to be the setup is that we're sitting back.
Our stream keeps wigging out that we're watching it on, which is the legal stream as well. It's not even a dodgy one.
Sky Go.
And I think the weather's just done us.
Oh.
The ball may or may not be in the box.
Yeah. Not in the box. No, it's not in the box. Hopefully it is.
Blobbers.
Proper
blobbers. Mancunian blobbers.
Hey. Not the fine rain then.
No, not the fine rain that soaks you through. The blobbers that still soak you through.
Soaks you through, but more aggressively.
Yeah.
No,
like
Adam
if
today.
Bez was rain.
Adam McCullough.
Yeah.
He's in that there London with his fancy Cockney mates and Geordies, doing True Geordie. But he'll be speaking to us afterwards. He'll be sending his reaction.
Should be getting some fan cams as well.
Yeah, we'll have fan cams as well. We'll have all the usual stuff after the game.
I get a lion tomorrow.
75% possession for Chelsea in the last 10 minutes.
Extra in bed. Extra in bed. What are you going to do with it? Fondue.
I'm going to have a kip.
Have a fondue in bed, Steve. It's been a while, hasn't it? Yeah, a big wet cheese affair. Just dipping stuff in liquid cheese. Do you like a fondue? You seem like you would. You love cheese and carbs.
It's faff though, isn't it?
It is faff, but if let's say it was brought to you already molten.
Yeah.
You'd get to do. What would you put in? What would be the most left field object you dip into a fondue? And don't say the boys.
I'm not putting the boys in molten cheese.
But
fucking maniac.
yeah, but I ain't told you what the cheese is yet. It could be a brie which has a much lower melting point. It might just be like a gentle 36 degrees. That brie. Brie's liquid at body temperature, isn't it?
Brie?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think it might be. It's a soft cheese. It's not so hot that pecorino is melted. This is a
Brie's liquid at body temperature, and then turned to me and went in it.
This is a lukewarm bath of brie that you're getting stuck into here, Steve.
Why would you watch any other stream?
What would you put in it then? Bread, obviously.
Chicken.
Chicken, yeah.
And more chicken.
Just chicken. Prawn?
No. Chicken. Ask me about chicken.
Would you put chickens in it?
Chicken.
I tell you what's nice with cheese, and it's a bit underrated. Apple. That's a combo that they have, isn't it?
The missus has apple and cheese.
Yeah. Dip a bit of apple in a fondue. And the great thing is with fondue, for dessert, you got a chocolate fountain on the way. liquid dips, isn't it? Chocolate dip.
That's mostly olive oil.
Yeah, I know, it's gross, isn't it? When you see him make it, you're like, oh, I've got a fondue set. There was a point
Not a Dairy Milk,
in
no.
the early 2000s where everyone had a fondue set at home. And you read the instructions, you're like, 1 kilogram of chocolate, 500 millilitres of olive oil. Because otherwise it just doesn't run.
No.
It's gross. Yeah. What, doing a chocolate fountain at 10 years old? What's wrong with that? That's the age you meant to have it. What? Everyone had them. Everyone's had. In early 2000s, here's the thing everyone had at their house. Chocolate fountain, one of them foot bars that you put your feet in. Everyone's got one. No one uses it.
Right, for start with chocolate fountain.
Yeah.
No.
They were like £8. B&M bargains used to have them dead cheap, and people used to get them because they thought they were fancy.
Well, we never had a chocolate fountain in my house.
Well,
We certainly didn't have a foot spa.
It wasn't some cascading.
You put your feet in a sink if you want a foot spa. There you go, son.
Put your feet
there's
under-
your bleeding foot spa.
Yeah.
You've been hanging around with them poshies again, haven't you?
No, they were shit and no one ever used them. And then they were replaced by them fish that eat your nan's.
Steve, did you have a foot spa and a fondue set in the early noughties in East Manchester?
No.
No. We didn't have them either.
Well, I mean, get out of the house a little bit. You know what I mean? Experience life.
Sorry, do you know what I mean? Imagine the peer pressure you must have been under when
Yeah.
all your mates have got fondue sets and foot spas.
Joe needs to start vlogging.
I ain't got it now.
That's the most inappropriate use of the word
It's
ever.
not the point.
Ever.
You get the things you just spoke about in the last 5 minutes, right? I know there's also some other weird shit that goes on in Joe's flat. So
But I don't think he can say those things.
Alex said, "I don't think you can say those things."
Okay.
I think we just get Joe vlogging.
I think we should.
Like the video if you want to see Joe vlogging.
Yeah, hit
What-
some likes
what
as well. Get involved
Joe
in the
vlogging.
comments. Let us know what you think of the game so far. Have you watched
Get
it?
to
Let us know
2,500
what
vlog.
topics
I'll
you
tell you
wanna
where
hear
he
us
lives.
discuss. He will as well.
Yeah, right.
Steve's trying to be the cool man on campus.
Yeah.
Steve's trying to be the cool.
Boris Pecker.
Yeah, I agree.
Shut up, Boris.
I agree.
Yeah, what was that? Steve's trying to be the
Ooh,
cool man
cheese
on
and chips
campus.
would be nice. Dipping chips in a fondue.
Cheesy chips are shit though.
Yeah,
No,
thank you.
what?
Thank you. Right, everyone in our house except me loves cheesy chips, and they're horrible.
What do you mean they're horrible? Cheesy chips.
Right, there's a couple of places in town that I love. Cane and Grain, they do ribs and they do rum. I am there for you.
Yeah.
They do a cheesy chip and they do it in a mess tin for some reason.
A mess tin?
Yeah. I
that
don't know
why
what
you
it is
like
about that.
That's what
No,
soldiers
I
do
hate
poo
them.
in.
Right? And you go like that, bosh with your fork and then lift up the whole thing because it's just like a cheesy chip slab.
Well, that's
I've got a thing about cheesy chips. I once covered.
Don't mind chili chips though.
I once covered a court case in Blackpool where the lad left his cheesy chips and he went back for him and ended up fighting in the takeaway and killing someone. So it's always put me off him for that reason.
That's what it was.
I can see
That's
how
what
it
did
escalates though. If you're the kind of dick that has cheesy chips, I can see why you'd murder people in takeaways.
Also, do you want to know the key to having a cheesy chip, Steve, that doesn't the whole thing gets picked up when you pick it up?
American liquid cheese.
What you need is you need the
Like
chip,
nacho
then you need
cheese.
nacho cheese, and then on top of that you put a normal either a mozzarella or a cheddar, because that way the hardened cheddar layer at the top is only touching a liquid cheese matrix. It's not touching the actual
Doesn't
chips
Frank
beneath.
Lampard look like someone who's just come out of time at your drive there? Hey, he blatantly does, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He's knocks on your doors just to say, sorry,
Can
my
I get an invoice?
my
He's
scaffold
like, oh,
pole's
don't know
just gone
about
through
that.
your bedroom window. Sorry about that. I'll be back tomorrow.
There's a
and
quote
you
on
don't
the,
see him again.
Go on.
Yeah.
a quote on the screen from Patrice Evra talking about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He said, he's talking about rewarding players. How about playing your best players? I assume he's maybe talking about Pogba.
Evra's gone in, you know.
Maybe talking
Have you
about
seen
Axel.
the whole quote from Evra?
No, go on.
Right,
Elucidate.
someone stuck it in my Patreon group, so I will find it. Let me find. Give me 13 seconds.
Good touch there from Lindelof. United have not really done anything going forward so far, have we? Not even had half a chance that I can think of. Rashford now running the Chelsea defence. We've got a corner.
That'll do.
Now's where you need get Tellers and Cavani subbed on for this corner. It'd be good if you could have kickers like in American football, wouldn't it? Just
Yeah,
have
just bring
Tellers.
them on for that.
I reckon
that
we'd have
one
had
thing.
Beckham as our kicker for the last 20 years. Just coming on, taking free kicks, goal kicks, corners. That'd be great. Yeah.
He
First-
still can ping a ball though, can't he?
Yeah, of
See that
course.
charity game? He's still like, you know, was hitting 70-yard inch perfect passes. It was ridiculous.
Cam, is there any chance, Alec, is there any chance you can find me them quotes from Evra, the full list? Because he goes in.
On who?
On Ollie.
Why?
Don't know. And I remember.
Now's not the time for
I woke
that.
up this morning. All right. I woke up this morning and I saw the quotes and then I went, they didn't really play together, did they?
I know you're, quite friendly with Patrice Evra. Do you think it was a bit overly harsh to be going in on Ollie now? I've not read the quotes. I know we're going to go into them, but if you're saying
my
he goes
initial
in on Ollie,
my initial
why?
thought was that was a bit strong. I've never spoken to him about Ollie.
Right, okay. Do you think that he's... I mean, again, we'll get the quotes up. Is he sort of backing Pogba a bit because Pogba's been...
Possible dropped. That is possible because I know Patrice has had a lot of dealings with Pogba and United, and even Martial. He had a big hand in keeping Martial and Pogba because they both wanted to leave.
Right.
I don't know I can't remember which summer that was, whether it was last summer or the summer before. When he was talking a lot about the director of football stuff, and he was saying, "I'm basically doing the director of football job, keeping players here." I think he's a great mentor that Pogba could have, and it's a shame that he doesn't live in Manchester because I feel like he'd be in his house just chatting macca to him all the time, and I don't think that's a bad thing. Is he talking about rewarding players? How about playing your best players? Yeah, I mean he's obviously talking about Pogba there. I would say
100%.
but he's also got a point on like we said earlier, at the start of the game, we was like Axel, Tellez, Van der Beek, plenty of them.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, though, I think you've got to give, trust Ollie with what he's doing. Like, give him a bit of sort of leeway because, yeah, I get it. I want to see Paul Pogba start at Manchester United. I'm a big Pogba fan. But he's not just randomly dropping him. There's a method to what he's doing. And also, it's a long season. Pogba didn't play hardly any of last season. We've got a long season ahead of us. And I fully expect Paul Pogba to start 90% of the games.
That makes me laugh.
It's not like he's,
The fans who've already made their mind up on Ollie.
Yeah.
Assuming he's not playing Pogba. Because it seems to be a correlation in that, right?
Yeah, there is. You're right.
Those are the same fans who say he brought him back too fast. And when he got injured.
You just can't... That's what I mean. We were talking about this before the game. There's a certain faction where Ollie can't win. He's damned if he does, he's damned if he doesn't. And I just think at times... And it's a little bit disappointing because I think at United we have this problem with some of our ex-players. I'm not just digging ever out, but... Our ex-players like to get involved and talk about the club and talk about managers all the time. And sometimes it's counterproductive. Don't get me wrong, these are my heroes and I love them. But it is... And you look at it, you compare it to like the Scousers who seem to sort of circle the wagons and just always back each other no matter what. Even if it's something like heinous like Luis Suarez, they'll still all support him.
It's weird.
And yet with us, it's the other way around where a lot of the time, we'll dig at the manager. And you think we should be digging at the Glazers if you want to dig at
some
anyone.
hardcore... the players that's currently doing that for United, those are players that had like hardcore success at the club. So they've got this mad high expectation, which is correct. It's the expectation we all should have.
Yeah.
But because that's not what it was like when they were there. And I think the time has passed that a little bit now with the Scousers. I think they went through so long for being shit that they sort of accepted they were shit. And now it's in, we back everything that we do, we're right kind of mode.
But it's funny though, because Fergie in his book, he talks about when he was a Scottish manager and he'd ask like Arthur Albiston about, say we were playing, I don't know, Ireland, he'd say, ask him about Paul McGrath, and you'd get a bit of info. And he said, when I asked the Liverpool players about a Liverpool player who we were playing against, you'd get nothing. They wouldn't say, oh, he's crap on his left foot or whatever, or give you a bit of tip to help. It's like, no, nothing. They were very sort of.
Do you think there was an element of
together
that when it was like Scholes and Beckham and Rio all in the England squad?
Oh yeah.
Because didn't they be like, they was like the classroom bullies one?
Yeah, well, Rio said it, and he said he stopped talking to Frank Lampard when he went to United because that was it. It was like him and Frank were good mates, and it was like it stopped. You don't have mates with the opposition. I guess that sort of came from Fergie as well, didn't it?
Well, that's why probably England was so shit for all those years as well. No one liked
Look at my face,
other.
Joe.
Not that
Ask
you
me if I
bothered.
care.
No, you're not bothered. I'm just saying. There's no surprise that no one could play
Fucking
together
love
for
it.
England. You're like, why can't all these
Rooney
world-class players
sitting
play
there
together?
staring at them going, Scouse cunts.
Yeah.
Looking at as a Scouser, looking at other Scousers.
Do you think the reason they can't play together is because they refuse to speak to each other by any chance? Yeah, that might be it.
I hope so.
Yeah, me too. I don't mind
I
it.
hope
It's
Fergie
funny.
fucked England for 20 years.
Yeah.
It was weird though because Rooney and Gerrard always got on, didn't they?
McTominay, there's been 0 shots on target so far in this game, by either team.
Why there's not much talk of the game.
30 minutes in,
things happening.
It's a bit of a sluggish nothing of a game so far, isn't it, from both sides? Chelsea have had more of the ball, but not really made any
United's
chances.
attack is lacking potency.
Yeah, it is. Almost like we need
Bruno's
Bruno's
looking
down
up to
holding
the,
his face,
to the-
holding his chops.
Joe there.
Yeah.
As Joel just walks in front of the camera
Oi!
again.
What's in front of the camera?
Are you new to this or what?
Maniac.
You know what I mean? I was on the live earlier on.
He walked in the camera then.
Oh, Mendy almost putting the ball in the back of his net there. Did you see that?
Dear.
Played it across his goal. Ball almost went out. Or went in, sorry.
What has Lampard come as?
What do you come at?
See how defensive he is.
He loves it. Look at this, look.
Oh my god!
Oh, imagine that. If he did that, he'd have just gone in. Mendy just sort of
God.
side-footing it almost into his own goal.
I'd have loved that.
Went out for a corner. That would have been amazing, that.
I prefer that to any goal United could possibly
Yeah.
score. Because if they have another
That
failed
would have been
goalkeeper, one more failed goalkeeper, and they
Right.
might be struggling.
You know,
Petr in that, yeah.
who else did he bring back?
Cudicini, where's Carlo Cudicini these days? Get him in.
Dimitri
Sign him up.
Carey.
Get him in. Oh, that stayed in. No,
Remember that? Yeah. Love him.
Every keeper used to wear white socks with black tracky bottoms after
Tucked into it.
After Karim.
Hello, Stephen.
Ball in the box then. McTominay wants something. Another corner
Come
to
on.
United. Who's this? Bruno. It's
Would
left
it be
foot.
good
It's
if we had
Mata.
Tellers, wouldn't it?
Yeah, or someone to cross it to.
Put it in the
Lindelof.
area. Lindelof's not
Who's
winning
this?
that.
Bruno on the volley. Scuffed it.
No.
Gosh.
Scoofed it. It's not been great, has it, this game?
No, it hasn't. It's been a really sort of...
Yeah, very poor indeed.
poor.
Oh, Wan-Bissaka's been having a good week.
He's had some...
Go on,
Travis
Tyler,
dig
dig it!
Oh! Straight at him.
So I don't know what happened there because the stream froze.
It looked like it was straight at him.
Yeah,
It
it didn't
did.
go in because the replay is not seeing United running off.
It's really getting worse, this stream, isn't it?
Yeah. I think the weather must be baited.
Just straight at the goalie.
Straight to keeper.
Yeah.
I thought it hit the post.
Yeah, I did. I thought it hit the post.
The stream moved like that, and I was like, oh, no.
Come on, there's got to be an United player there. Push.
Oh, go on. Good pressing.
Decent
from United,
pressing, but they
have
played around
through
it.
Yeah, they've played right through it.
Chelsea here now on the counter.
Go on,
Why's
Scott,
Kante
lad.
left wing. Why's he let that go?
He's not even...
I don't think he touched him.
Advantage, yeah.
I think
just
Kante fell over trying to avoid the tackle
Right,
rather
stick-
than...
well
because
done,
it was
Saka.
flat.
Saka win that.
Keep the ball.
Heavy touch there. Oh,
he not
making hard work of this.
Well done, Harry.
played.
2 or 3 times Maguire's just been in
Well, the foul,
excellent
ref.
position and won the ball back.
Bruno's got to do better there.
Tits.
Like he got fouled. Chilwell's gone past
for God's
Bruno.
sake.
Ball in the box. Who was that? Maguire again.
United can't.
2 or 3 times Maguire's done well.
Yeah.
Bit of a worry. Just feel like it's just moving up a little bit in it. There's just a bit more danger in the room. Who's that? Pulisic as a shot straight to Gea. I think it was Sporf who were doing a thing on Twitter where they were like picking the 11. So it would be like De Gea versus Mendy, and then you had to do a vote on each player, and they went all the way through the squad picking each player. Pulisic versus Greenwood. Pulisic battered it. Way more people wanted Pulisic in their side than Greenwood. Does that surprise you? With the amount of goals that Greenwood scored last season. It's mad to me. Some of me thought it was like Kante against Fred and Kante won that one, but I'm surprised that the general consensus amongst football fans is that Pulisic is better than Greenwood.
I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't have gone with that. I'd rather have Mason Greenwood in my squad than Christian Pulisic. I mean, obviously Pulisic sort of is more of a regular in than Mason Greenwood, and he's not had a great start to this season.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a bit surprising. The thing with Spov as well is it's not a
I know it's
United
not
or a
it's-
Chelsea.
Yeah, well that's why I thought it was like it's
lot
probably a
neutrals
mix of
may look at
fans.
Pulisic and go, oh, you know, decent player. What was it? He scored against the Scouts.
And he's American,
hat trick.
which may be able
bits
to.
where you like.
Sub in for us, Al. Let me go and try and sort that out.
It's alright. They're just getting Sky Go back up.
Yes.
It's alright. You can't get it done any faster. Just trying to get the stream back on. The football's gone off. It's back on now though.
Oh, there you go.
We've seen a replay here of Fred dispossessed in the middle of the pitch.
Stephen Howson's just subbed off to go and fix it
Pulisic hit the ball across goal.
Dead quick, that wasn't it? 14
Is
stone
that a
in
corner?
day.
Maybe a corner ball there.
14 stone a day.
Corner ball to Chelsea. Ball in the box. Can we get full screen on this? Please. It looks as though it's been a bit more. No, there you go. Fucked it again. I think it's the stream though, because it's not the connection to the computer, because the whole screen isn't going weird. It's just the stream. It must just be the weather.
That's ridiculous in this day and age when the weather affects your stream.
Yeah.
What is this?
There's water in the cameras and that.
2001.
Yeah, I know. It's really quite bad. I don't know if it's the same for everyone at home. Let us know in the comments
not
if
bad.
your Sky stream at home is being dodgy or your Sky
You may be on a dodgy stream, to be fair.
Sky Digital. Well, if you're not, because we're not, it shouldn't be like this.
Disgusting.
Anyway, bit of a boring game so far, isn't it, Alex?
Not a lot happening.
Yeah, no shots really for either team. I think United have done okay. I think kind of sat back pretty well, but not really creating anything, which is frustrating. Again, it kind of shows in the team selection. You know, you take off your most creative. You don't have your most creative players on there. You're not going to score as many goals, or at least create as many chances.
This is more like it. We've got a chance here. Marcus
Go on,
Rashford,
Marcus.
Straight on the goalkeeper here. Go on, Marcus.
Good save there.
Right, this is a couple of times now. He did it against PSG as well. He's got the ball. He's running toward the goal, and he makes his decision too early. He had 15 yards before the goalie was there then. Very, very early, he's taking a shot there. He did it against PSG where he passed the ball.
Miles on.
He passed the ball, but he's hitting the ball from outside the
I
box.
don't know that. I can't see it as he's closing down him. He's getting across there.
I don't know. Just
look.
It's Aspilicueta. They should trust him. I
think
think he should fancy himself up against him. Yeah. Stephen's limping over this way. Are we doing a sub?
No. What's that? Sorry.
Did you start? Centre half. He's limping about though. I'm worried about him. Hope it's not his gout.
Yeah, me too. Just so you know, Stephen, the HDMI that's currently plugged into that other computer is the one from that one, so you're going to have to unplug it and switch it back over if that's what you're doing. Just so you know. United with a bit more pressure then after that. It was should Marcus have done better there?
No,
I think keeper's done well.
You want him to get his shot off and test the keeper, which is exactly what he did.
Yeah.
It was a good save.
It was a decent save. 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper. The best chance of the game by a mile for either team, wasn't it?
Yeah. It's a trait of Marcus Rashford as well. He lost his last few games. He tends to get a few chances.
Yeah.
And then later on scores. Hopefully that'll be the case today.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah. I think most United's players aren't particularly... Martial's quite clinical, but otherwise... Rashford does take a couple of chances, doesn't he, to get going, and... Yeah. As you said does tend to come good, especially against Chelsea. So, was it 5 goals he's got against him?
Yeah, he does like it.
Against him.
So another one wouldn't go missing out. So far, then it's
been poor. Poor from both teams.
Not too surprised.
Bit of a boring match. Yeah.
No, yeah, you've got a United team that's set up to sit back and a Chelsea team that's not really firing. But
I guess he's shot away.
Has this paused? No. Maybe they're just describing it. Ollie was up. Ollie thought it was going in.
Yeah, he did. I did, to be honest.
Oh, seems quite angry about that.
Yeah, he did.
I didn't think he was anything critical of Marcus off.
I don't know whether he's looking at Cavani.
Maybe it's something about Dan James or Mata or whoever else was chasing forward with him, not giving him a bit more of an option, because I think with Dan James not going wide enough,
he sort of took the place.
everyone kind of went to Marcus and didn't give him another option. He had to shoot there. Whereas I think if Dan James had drifted a bit further wide, maybe the centre half would have had to maybe keep his eye on him a bit more. But I don't know.
We saw it against Newcastle, where the first time Marcus was breaking, Bruno went the other. Tried to pull the defender away, it didn't work. The one that actually got the goal was him running around the back of Rashford, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So sometimes you can try and pull the defender away, but if they don't go with you, sometimes you have to go around the back, because that might be where the free space is. I don't think he could then, because he was just too far over. But you can't always drag that man away, especially if they're
it was strange bit there where Ollie taught to Cavani as well. It wasn't just a case of him having a rant that he went towards Cavani to say, that's maybe what I want you to try and fix here. I want you to be the option to give Rashford maybe a bit more space. But I don't know. It's a strange one for him to vent at a player who's been at the club for a week.
I don't know if it was the way Cavani looked at him, because Solskjaer was sort of.
Well, Luke Shaw did his best to get booked there against Lee James, and he didn't get one.
Yeah, there you go.
To be fair, he went for it, didn't he?
Solskjaer was looking back up into the stands. I don't know if he was shouting to Cavani or whether he was just shouting to no one, because Cavani sort of was giving him the side eye rather than looking at him.
Yeah.
It was
quite early on.
It was almost one of those where you're taking a booking there.
Yeah.
You know you're getting booked.
Luke Shaw's one where
back there twice.
He's not gonna. I doubt he'll get a red card, but he might just not tackle anyone for the rest of the game. He might people running past him, and he's like,
what? I
don't think he'll get involved in it.
Yeah, I think it would be unfortunate to see a second yellow, but if he tackles anyone for the rest of the match, I'll be surprised. Chilwell stood over the ball then. Set P.
It's pieces.
Taking a while with it.
Bit of nerves. This is no good.
Is it choppy on the other one as well, Steve? We'll swap the HDMI's back next time the ball goes
I
out.
think he's thinking half time. It's just quite poor in it, United, at the minute. There's just no quality. There's no
goal. The game needs a goal. I wouldn't even. I mean, obviously,
Harry Maguire.
Are they checking that?
Because
that's a penalty.
Tell you what, if
looks a bit ropey. And Maguire,
he's got
with his arms round.
That's a penalty. That.
Yeah, I think you might get a penalty there.
I think Chelsea.
They've not checked it.
Rightly so.
Lucky boy, Harry Maguire there. Literally gave it the old Chris Smalling bear hug, didn't he? Chris Smalling used to love pulling a shirt and wrapping his arms around
How's he not
people.
given that?
I don't. They must not have checked it because that's about as blatant as you'll ever see. Go on then. Now's a good time to score. Really. Good save from Mendy there. Now be a good time to score while they're still fuming.
Yeah, I still don't know how it's not a penalty.
I'd love it. The online backlash if we score before half time. Should have even been up the other end, bitch. Good.
Sent off and all
I love
this.
it. It's my favourite. I love it.
They're already getting the money's worth out of this Mendy, aren't they?
I know. He's better than Kepa. He almost scored no goal. He's theatre. The lad.
He's entertainment, this lad.
VAR.
No, the ball went
VAR in
out.
United. The VAR.
Kick on Marcus, that was that.
Oh, please give it.
Imagine
the scenes.
Give us a penalty. What is it?
The unbelievable scenes.
Marcus has gone down.
Marcus.
Imagine if we VAR this. Oh, it's awful. Look at
You're
it.
not allowed to be fair, you're not allowed to tackle Marcus
You can't
Rashford.
kick the saviour of Britain's children.
If Mark Bosnich had anything to do with it, he'd be out for as long as the person who was injured was out for. That's how suspensions ought to work. Oh, it's awful, ref. He's kicked him. Thiago Silva. Jay, don't open your damn mouth. It's awful.
Ref,
it's assault, that is.
Even I am the most biased man here.
Referee, if you're watching,
to see this one.
This is a real bad challenge.
But what's mad is they've checked that and not even checked the United one.
Don't worry about it.
It's mint.
VAR Chester United. Manchester VAR United. That's all I can think of at the minute.
Is that what you've got? Manchester VAR?
Manchester VAR United. There's three to choose from. So up to you really which one you want. Manchester United, Manchester VAR United, Manchester VAR United, whatever. But we ain't even got a penalty, so we're not. You can't call us that.
Disgraceful. That should have been a definite penalty.
Oh, just for a corner.
Oh, hello.
It's the timing I love. Ball whipped in.
Is it? No.
No goal. Ball cleared away by Chesley.
I can't describe to you how small of a screen we just watched that on. It looked about that big.
Look at this. Thiago Silva swinging through. It's awful, ref.
Killed him.
This is better.
Remember
At least it's not as choppy as it was.
Thing. This one
could have killed him. Yeah.
And,
he could have. He's on the floor. He booted the ball at his head.
He did say some absolutely nonsensical things towards the end of his career. I love the man, obviously.
He was going a bit
But
mad.
Phil Jones could be United's greatest ever player.
Just leave it like that.
Is one of the most bonkers comments anyone's ever said.
There was a few signs.
Who was it? Ashley. What's his name? Ashley Thingy for Swansea. Who was it who kicked the ball at
Ashley Williams.
Ashley Williams. Point blank range. I mean, I'm not saying a ball is a lethal weapon, but when you've got a footballer wielding a football boot, kicking the ball at someone's head, could have killed the poor lad. I agree with Fergie. And you can say that. You can say this now, Jay, because we got to see Robin van Persie for the rest of his career. If that had been it for him, you wouldn't be laughing here now, would you? You wouldn't be laughing.
I think the only appropriate action would have been to ban Ashley Williams for the rest of his career.
For his life?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how it
Or
should
murder
work.
him. Or just
That's the new rule.
Should have been killed.
That's what Mark Bosnich said.
Yeah, he should have been taken out and executed by firing
Mark
squad.
Bosnich's eye for an eye method of refereeing.
What's the other thing about, say not great thing, because this isn't a great thing, but isn't James Rodriguez injured now because of a Van Dijk tackle earlier on in that same game?
Probably.
There you go.
There's two. I think there is.
No one talks about that.
There's two Everton players that are out after Van Dijk has took them out.
Yeah, remember that? You saw a lot of you saw the picture, the tackle on the Napoli player, where his shins just bending as Van Dijk's foot is all the way slammed into it.
He's one of them, isn't he, Matt Bosnich? I never think of him as an ex-United player.
No.
I just don't. He's like.
Who is he? Who
did
he play most of his games for?
I think he's
one of
the only players Fergie brought back.
He went to Chelsea.
He was at Villa, wasn't he, for a while? We got him from. He came to United as a kid and then went to Villa.
We were just panicking over goalkeepers, weren't we?
I mean, I think
After
he won a
your
title. Did he win a title, Steve? Bosnich? in 2000.
Probably.
Yeah.
They all did.
Remember when everyone used to win a title?
You've got to be unlucky to have played for United for more than a season and not won a title in the Fergie era.
Is that Lauren Blanc tackle or something?
No, he Blanc won one, didn't he?
No, I don't think he did.
Oh, the
I
bastard.
won it in 2003.
Did he? Was Blanc there in 2003?
Did he last that long?
How many
I might
seasons
be
was
wrong.
Blanc at United for?
Get involved in the
Too
comments,
long.
let us know.
We can't see him, but if you've got him
this
up.
is, yeah.
Cam can put some comments on the screen.
Yeah. What was that?
The
I'm
pennies
going to
drop.
just get my phone out just in case there are any comments.
Yeah.
Our
Rashford
roles aren't-
limping, someone said.
The roles
Yeah, he went down, didn't he?
The roles defined today.
Where's
haven't been.
Stephen gone? Stephen will be back.
He's going to do the half-time show instead.
Yeah, he's firing up the chocolate fountain in the background.
Yeah, and having a foot spa.
Oh, don't put that in it, Stephen, for God's sake. No, we all wanted to use that. We can't now. All the way to the base as well. Not even just topped it. Chelsea are on the ball. Apparently United have had 60% possession in the last 10 minutes.
It's not
as
shown.
we see the 1 minute of stoppage time. I'm surprised they've even done that.
People
They should've-
asking where's McCullough. McCullough will be here after the game.
Yeah, he's on the
the
fan
game.
cams. Don't worry about that. Manon. Oh, that's a foul. That's a yellow card as well, ref.
Yellow,
Come on,
gotta be.
Havertz booked there for
Yes.
pulling thread back. Sorry, I
Doing what?
got carried away there. Havertz pulling thread back. Do you think Kai Havertz is so pale he can go as himself for Halloween? It looks like a ghost and a skeleton all in one, doesn't he? He's a decent player, I'm sure, but my
United
word,
looks
my
to be doing
word, he's
well.
pale.
Oh! That's Mendy again, done well there.
Yeah, well,
Making a big difference. Kepa for them has been,
yeah.
you know, I think we get one of those chances kind of goes in or he throws it.
One of the ones where he kicks it in his own goal, like Kepa, like Mendy almost did a second
Yeah,
ago.
but that's his footwork. He'll work on that.
He'll work on that. Famously, something
That
comes later in
is
the career.
half-time.
Half-time. It's been a stunning half of
Football.
Where do you want to go?
Where do you wanna
Stephen's
go here,
just-
Steve?
Stephen's just
Stood here
stood.
with his hands out looking
Right,
like
get out.
There you go.
Run round.
I've
So
got
one in, one off. You go do your half-time thing. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, don't touch me. Stay away.
Stephen Howson's back for everyone asking.
Oh, stiff.
He's stiff.
It's because of the cold. That
'cause he's
on my
watched a
old
match.
bones.
And we're going to have Alex Baggers on his 4th show of the day,
Yeah.
doing the half-time.
Getting stats.
So getting the stats up, get involved in the comments as well. Let us know what you thought of that game. Well, half I should
Barely
say.
a game,
Who,
was
who,
it?
who was your man of the match from the first
shit.
half?
My
It
man
was
of the
a
match
bit
was,
shit, wasn't
was
it?
the
Yeah.
What I think we need is more options in the final third. Dan James was on the team sheet. Why has he not come out on the pitch yet?
Oh, he's had a pop. He's had a pop at Dan
To be
James.
fair, though, I only saw one matter 30 seconds ago.
I know.
Yeah, I mean, literally that shot from Matter is the only thing I've seen him do. It seems to be like, it does look at times like Marcus is on his own up front.
And even he's been anonymous.
Yeah, I mean...
So, options in the
I
final
wouldn't say
third.
He's been anonymous. He's had a couple of chances.
Anonymous.
Anonymous.
We had that good chance with Rashford. Do you think he should have done better there?
Yeah.
I do as well. He
Is the problem, though. People look at that and go, he should have done better. He should have done better. But the thing is, he's meant to get 4 or 5 of them chances in a half.
Yeah.
And that's where you go, well, yeah, one of them goes in.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I mean... It wasn't great. I just thought it was a decent save. He hit the target, got his shot off. What I see more from that, the other night against Paris, the issue was he wasn't even getting his shot off. Decision making wasn't great.
It's definitely an improvement
cost
on
us,
the
so,
on the
you
other
know,
night.
Yeah, 100%. But you know,
Other
like
than
you
the
say,
goal.
if you give him 4 of them chances, I expect him to score. And
One's not right.
United.
Ronaldo used to have 10 chances to score a goal.
Rooney used to have so many, and obviously he took a lot of them. I'm not criticising Wayne Rooney, but he used to have so many chances, and now it's like we shouldn't be feeding off scraps at Manchester United.
No. Have you been impressed by Chelsea so far, this Stephen? Because
No, I've not, Joe.
it's been a bit of a nothing affair, hasn't it? Are we expecting more from them?
Yeah, I mean, their final third, if they can get the ball into them, deadly. I mean, they have a good 11. I'd actually say their 11's probably a little better than ours, if anything. But, like I said, that midfield, I don't know why Jorginho and Kante, I'd set both of them off your hands right now. They don't work together, though. Two top players.
Yeah, they're not playing Kovacic again, who's been left out of the squad a few times. Also, Mason Mount, who often is in the team, left out today. They look a bit
Trying to squeeze.
disjointed as well.
I think they're trying to squeeze Havertz because he's a talent. They've gone, how do we get him in the team? And
Cost us 80 million quid, so we better get him in.
We better get a shiny thing into the team. Whereas actually, their best midfield might be Jorginho, Kovacic, and Kante as a 3. I think they're underutilising their assets.
Do you think there's an element here of two managers who almost just, don't want to lose this game?
There could be that.
Because
Losing this is bad.
Yeah. Like, that's our third
I don't think we're
league
playing
loss of the season already. We lose it. And
if we were playing
Lampard,
counter and we were playing to sit back, we'd have 3 at the back, and we've not done that.
No.
So I don't think that's what we're doing. I just think we're not good in the final third. If we were better in the final third, we would be attacking this game. We're just not.
As sure as the day is long, Paul Pogba and Donny van de Beek are going to come on. When do you pull that trigger?
I'd be tempted to move Rashford onto the left where he could have a good do at James, throw Cavani down the middle now and see what sort of impact that has.
We don't see Ole very often making half-time subs, do we?
He did it a lot at Mulder.
Did he? He's not done it much at United, though. I'm not saying
he has done it, but yeah, it's not his move. He's the cult of Fergie, innit? That's what it is. Yeah. He is the disciple of Fergie, and Fergie's thing is the best time to bring on a sub is 15, 20 minutes to go. That's when they change a game.
It's just, you know what? It pains me the fact that Cavani now, if you were at Old Trafford, I don't want to keep going on about it, but Cavani coming on at Old Trafford.
Mate, the noise, if he walked out of the tunnel at half time,
fucking hell.
Mate, I'd be busting a button in my jeans.
You know what I mean? You won't be alone.
He's burst through. He's come clear. Look at him. He's standing proud of the jeans.
It's like, do you remember when Falcao came on? Do you remember? And it was like, we didn't know Falcao was going to be not very good. And it was like, the atmosphere, it was like we'd scored, wasn't it? It was when he came on, everyone was going berserk.
The thing that a lot of people forget about Falcao, in this first season, he actually got 37 goals for Man United. That's not true, but I'm going to start saying that.
I missed 35 of them.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, I missed them as well, Jay. So far then, it's been a bit of not much going on. Marcus Rashford's chance, the best of the half.
Right, I think we're ready. Sorry to interrupt.
We're going to throw over now to get some of your opinions and your
comments,
tweets and quotes from the hashtag Paddock Matchday over to Alex in the corner there with some stats as well. Go on, Alex, lad.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the halftime show. How do you think it went? I don't think that was the best first half for Manchester United. I'm going to run through a couple of stats for you, and I'm also going to jump a little bit more into the comments, so make sure you're getting your halftime thoughts. How you think it went? What do you think we need to change, if we need to change anything? Do you think that we're going to make any subs at halftime? Let us know in the comments. I'll be getting to them shortly. But yeah, looking at the stats there, total shots for Manchester United, 7 against 3, which I think flatters how Manchester United play. I don't think they were that dominant in terms of that. 3 shots on target for Manchester United, testing Chelsea's new keeper in Mendy. I think that was quite good. I mean, I think he's done really well for them. I think that if you have a player like Kepa on there, I think one of them maybe squeezes through. I think maybe we might get a rebound off it. He's not really been solid for Chelsea for a long time now, but Mendy, a really good performance for him in the first half. Looking at possession there, 41%, 59%. I think as soon as the teams went out, I think we all kind of expected that. I think we all kind of expected that Manchester United would kind of surrender possession for Manchester United, let Chelsea have a lot of the ball in the first half, and then try and do a bit on the counter-attack. It's not really worked that way. We haven't really done too much on the counter-attack, but have created some chances. That one clear one from Marcus Rashford. Let us know, do you think that he should have done the better with that? Do you think that he made the right decision in shooting? I think he should have took it a bit further on. But Manchester United, really that's the only one clear chance. It doesn't even count as a clear chance because he was outside of the box. Yellow cards, 1 each, 1 for Luke Shaw and 1 for, I believe, was it Kai Havertz for Chelsea? I think the 1 for Luke Shaw probably a little bit more prevalent because, again, players that can push on Luke Shaw, and he may, like Joe said it in a joking way where he kind of stood off and said, he might not put a tackle in, but that is very much a possibility in this second half where he might just let one more player go through, and I think that having Luke Shaw on the booking, maybe that'll come in the second half. 5 corners for Manchester United, missing Alex Telles, missing Cavani to attack the ball, nothing really created from that. Let's have a look at some of your comments. Redhead has said, move Rashford wide, bring Cavani on for James. I wouldn't be too surprised if that happened. Not in the slightest. I don't think Dan James has been too good in that first half, which it's one of those, we're kind of saying this time and time again now. I said in the pre-game show with Jay that Dan James has a lot of good possibilities and he has a lot of good things that he brings, and especially up against Azpilicueta and Thiago Silva, maybe you might get one in behind that he can run at. Hasn't been the case, hasn't done well. Dan James up against Reece James. Reece James done really well. Isaac Gant in the comments there. Late Night Live catch up after this. Cheer up, lads. If you are wanting to laugh, go and check out Late Night Live. But wait till after the watch along. Wait till later. Wait till later to do that. If you want to check out any of our podcasts, so Howson and McCullough Uncensored, if you want to catch up on any of them, we have the Devil's Podcast, Howson's Brew. Catch up on any of them. Make sure you click the link that is pod follow in the description below. That will link through to your favourite podcasting thing, whether you listen to stuff on Spotify, whether you listen to stuff on iTunes, whatever that is, you can click that in there. Also, make sure you're using, throughout the second half, hashtag Paddock Matchday. We can read some of your tweets. Adam Fitzpatrick, he tweeted this just before the game. He showed us a little bit of a video. He was watching Howson's opposition preview, and he was nervous but ready for today. And that's kind of how I was feeling. I think that one thing that Manchester United, I think the buzz after Tuesday, but I think that not having Anthony Martial, I think, has kind of dulled us a little bit going into today. Jay United saying they're sure is useless, boring, one-dimensional player. I wouldn't say that too much. I don't think he's that bad. I think he's been okay at the start of the season. I don't think he offers as much going forward as Alex Telles does, but I do think he offers us a little bit more defensively. Ross Murphy, sure on James on the left side isn't something you go, wow. I agree with that. And maybe the change of pushing Marcus Rashford that side, who did look like he may be carrying a little bit of an injury. Who knows? Maybe there'll be a change there. Tariq I've probably said that wrong. Cavani for DJ, Greenwood for Mata, and if need be, Van der Beek for either McTominay or Fred. I don't think we need to do that many subs. I don't think that's the worst thing we need to do. I think maybe keep it very similar to how it is. I think that Marcus Rashford maybe moving out to the left-hand side, bringing on Cavani. But again, we're not entirely sure how fit Cavani is, whether he's ready to do 45 minutes, whether he's just going to do half an hour. I don't know about that. A lot of people asking about where is Telles. Ollie's not said anything. There's no reason why he wasn't. The thing is, last night the squad got released. Usually they picture the squad going into the Lowry Hotel. Telles wasn't on that list, and people kind of thought that, well, Telles is still staying at the Lowry, so it's not like he's going to leave and come back again, and maybe he'll just be in the squad anyway. But Telles, not in the squad at all. Maybe there's a bit of an injury there, but maybe, more likely, he played for Brazil in Sao Paulo last week. He's then gone on to play, had the rest of the weekend, but he played in midweek. Only got an hour in midweek, and maybe that decision, maybe it wasn't too much of a tactical decision. Maybe it was he's only got an hour in the tank, and maybe he will take a little bit of time to get his fitness. Joe Ramsey, DJ off, Cavani on, Rashford on the left. I agree. I think that's probably what needs to happen. Someone's said, I agree, but Mata's done okay. I didn't see them slagging off on Mata. I thought he's been okay. I think in a game like this, it's tough for Juan Mata to get into the game. I think that he's not going to get on the ball as much as he wants. He's a player that needs those kind of things. But, let's see what happens in the second half. I'd like to see Juan Mata stay on. I'd like to see maybe Marcus Rashford come on. And hopefully we see Mason Greenwood as well. I think that's another one who can come on. Manav Singh saying, Jesus and Howson in midfield. I don't think that's dynamic enough. Don't think they'll do enough work there. Yuri said, James always lose the ball. I think the one thing with Dan James, to kind of back him up a little bit, is that, this kind of system, this kind of sitting back and counter-attacking, you are very, very isolated. It's not like you've got loads of options and things like that. He's kind of been asked to do something out of nothing. He's kind of been asked to put the ball over the top, chase after that and see what you can create. And usually it's just him and Marcus Rashford doing that. I don't think he's done good enough, but I don't think the criticism of him being terrible is too much. I think we've not had enough of the ball, even now, to do this. How we're not breaking them down, lol, we've had 7 shots. Marquez saying that one. Yeah, I was surprised at 7 shots. 7 shots seemed like a lot, but, a couple from outside of the box. You forget the Bruno Fernandes one that went straight down Mendy. Rin said Van der Beek on soon. I think Van der Beek's come on in a lot of games around the 60th, 70th minute. I think maybe he comes on. Whether he goes on the left-hand side like he did against Newcastle as well. You had Pogba coming on there. A few Ollie out comments in there. I mean, come on, guys. Are you not bored of it yet? After this week, after the performance he got his squad to do on Tuesday, do you really think that he's not performing well enough for this squad? I don't understand why you want to change manager. Things are definitely trending in the right direction. Fred's first touch atrocious. I don't believe that. Also, we've got a comment there saying, please bring Moyes back. He's better than Ollie. No. He got a point against City today. That's not better than Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Anyway, moving on. We need some Dan James. That's the consensus out of everyone in the second half, that Dan James maybe needs to come off. Let's see how that does. I don't know whether the guys are ready. I'm going to try and get someone's attention there. The mics are going to go up. I'm going to pass you back over. We've got Stephen Howson. We've got Joe Smith. We've got Jay Motty. Make sure you like the video. Make sure you're subscribing if you're not already. Over to you guys.
All right. We are back. Cheers, Alex. Hope you're well. Can you get me a rum and coke, please?
Is that time of the morning already?
I got a line tomorrow. So, as we saw, a non-entity of a first half, essentially. Not a lot happened. Chelsea didn't really threaten. United didn't really threaten. It was a bit of a mishmash in midfield. I would like United to have made some changes at half-time. I don't anticipate any changes from United at half-time. And hopefully we push for it in the second half. And we try and get the 3 points here, because we can get the 3 points here.
Yeah.
We've just got to be a little bit better in the final third.
And something to think about as well in terms of 3 points is City drew again today. So if we, we're on the same points as them, 1 point behind. But City drew. We know Tottenham have dropped points. We know Liverpool have dropped points. We know Chelsea have obviously dropped quite a few points.
Don't you say we're going to win the league, Joe.
I'm not saying we're going to win the league.
Okay, good.
But this isn't a league where the top team's going to get 100 points this season. There'll be none of that. I'd be utterly stunned if anyone got even 92 or 3. I think it's going to be high 80s, mid to high 80s as it was a few years ago. This is a league where I don't think United can necessarily win it, but we've dropped more points, or we've dropped a lot of points, but we're still well in with a shout of top 4, or, I still think if you want to say we're close to the top team by Christmas, that eventually we fade away and we're not going to win the league, I appreciate that, but this is a very interesting league, and if we win this game today and we win our game in hand, we'll be right up toward the top of the league all of a sudden. Villa, who started well, got battered yesterday by Leeds, so there's a lot, there's a lot of chance here.
None of us expected a title challenge this season. I think you'd have to be completely deluded, but you can at least, like you say, like Arsenal used to, be in a conversation.
Yeah, exactly.
So like Christmas or even maybe March, and then you feel like it looks like Frank Lampard's just been putting the bins out at Old Trafford there.
All right.
Yeah, go on. What are you giggling at?
Nothing.
Don't
be in the conversation. That's all we ask. But yeah, it's going to be a league where everyone drops a decent amount of points. I think even Liverpool, who have obviously been averaging a quite high number of points for the last couple of years, in case you didn't notice.
But 2 years, Joe. Don't fucking give him any more credit.
Say couple of years. That's 2.
Right. Well, it was 2.
When you
Specify.
Say
2.
A lovely couple. There's not 8 people stood in front of you. Is
right.
There?
Well,
2.
It could, in some people's eyes, a couple doesn't actually mean 2. It means more than that. So give them what they've done, which is 2, and no fucking more than 2.
I stand by the fact that couple means 2, but I appreciate that maybe not everyone else thinks that. For some reason,
everyone
a rhyming
couple is 2.
The happy couple is 2.
Yeah,
a rhyming couplet. Jay, how many is there?
2.
There's 2. Yeah, exactly. Cock and a couple of bollocks. How many have I got?
3.
Yes, exactly. So sometimes it can be 3.
Get that one checked.
I don't need to.
Is that Fred getting butt there?
No, it's one of them.
Did he actually get him then?
Touched his heels.
As like clockwork.
Yeah, Havertz going down. Go on then, push him.
I'd want to press Thiago Silva
more,
because I think he's just had years off in France.
Yes.
Forgive me for getting my phone. I'm just monitoring the comments.
Forgive and forget. Speaking of years off in lesser leagues.
Oh, now he's dipped out and got me a crap glass.
Did you see that Ajax
Carnage.
just won a game against VVV, Triple V, Werner, whatever they're called? 13-0, Steve.
Yeah, that's a bum.
That's some San Marino shit.
That's a bumming, that is.
That is.
I don't think he really.
That is.
Thank you.
There was a red card. I don't know what it was for.
Close game, and if VVV aren't careful,
they
may have big trouble this
season. They'll
season.
be in VVV big trouble.
Now, they did have a man with a red card.
Oh, 52 minutes in.
52 minutes in, and it was a game-changing red card because he conceded 9 in the next 40 minutes.
In 4-0 down, we were still in the game.
You know what it's like, Steve. Red card, 9 goals going. It happens most weeks.
Right.
That was
I want to hear your speculation.
By Luke Shaw.
I want to hear your speculation on what position the player who got sent off was to concede 9 on the back end of it.
Presumably.
Was he the goalkeeper and they didn't bother to put anyone else in goal?
They just
went 0-10 as their formation.
I'll give you the goalkeeper, but surely there must have been an earlier sub-goalkeeper go in and then they had to put the left back in because the goalkeeper got
Even when you put an outfield player in goal, though, they're not that bad usually to concede 9 goals in half an hour.
38 minutes.
Maybe they'd already made
John O'Shea where they're absolutely amazing.
Oh,
he's got wipes out there, hasn't he?
No, he fell over.
Oh, God.
But did you think anything else was happening there, though?
He should have got a shot off there at one point. I think he had a chance to just have a dig.
Go on, Harry.
Flavoured chicken we get later on.
What? He's on a diet.
Why?
Even chicken's too healthy these days.
Yeah.
We need a meat with even
some
less
water.
fat in it. It's fish. Fish in a rice cake for me, please.
That was a shove.
Yeah, I thought that as well. I think when Masaka goes down, he gets a free kick there. Got a love. We've got a
Black
super chat from Lord Love Rocket. Lads, going Ben Brazil tonight in Deansgate. Is it any good?
Oh, the Deansgate one. The Deansgate outpost. Never been.
Yeah, Deansgate
That's
one's
a
not
tackle.
bad.
It's big meat on sticks, am I right, Steve?
No.
Okay.
Here's what happens.
Oh, this is
There's
the
a
one
couple
in
of
where you
fellas-
flip the thing over in it. Sorry,
There's a couple
go
of fellas that'll walk around about every 20 minutes and not give you enough meat.
I've heard you say that a few times, actually. Now, is it one of them places where it's like 30 quid per person and you can have, it's all you can eat meat?
Yeah, but here's my point.
Or you can meat.
They're not the quickest.
No, because they want you to eat as little as possible.
Yeah, that's
they
the
want
game.
you to be full by the time they've given you loads of meat.
My experience is different from yours. I think they are alright. I think you're very demanding. Wow. I think you're like
Steve tucks his bib
I think
into his thing.
your car's blatantly on green
that?
constantly. And they're
Is it
like
one of them?
running in and out of the kitchen with big slabs of meat for you.
Didn't happen.
And
Not
you're
once.
like,
Yeah,
Not
I
once.
imagine it's like some sort of Flintstones scenario where
why
you're...
are they still showing the Maguire incident?
mean,
Yeah,
bad.
From
so
the
you're not
first
allowed
half?
to... You're not allowed to hug
yeah.
a friend.
Cheeky
That
Sport
all
Joel
he did,
says it's because it's the only
Aspilicueta
good
was-
thing that happened.
Aspilicueta was in the box and Maguire said, I'm going to give him a hug. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Are you on? Sorry, are you on the comments? Yeah. So I'll put my phone away then. Because
Good.
I might get a heads up otherwise.
I haven't been to Fazenda. Fazenda's meant to be the more upmarket one. It's about 45 quid a head.
That's a lot in it.
Mate, I won't mind money.
You could get a foot spa and a chocolate fountain
I'm
for that.
I want to.
I'm
changed.
staying over for
I
night
want the
and
meat
paying
sweats with
45
that,
quid.
and I need a lot of meat to get me the meat sweats.
Do you? I've
Yeah.
seen that in the past, actually. I've seen you to the point of meat sweats before. Do you remember when you got that paella and then you got them 2 sets of chicken skewers or something with it? Or no, was that...
And they also had like Iberian ham in a box.
Yeah.
I didn't have the meat sweats then.
Did you not?
No.
Was that other sweats?
Yeah,
Just stress.
Just general.
Just blood pressure, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You know,
that was
it's
from
like-
shout out to One Matter. That was from One Matter's dad's place.
Ooh, I got my paella from a footy man.
Me and one.
It must be good.
Well, his dad.
His dad.
It was all right.
Who's your favourite dad? Mine's One Matters.
Right, come on, pick someone out.
Matter? Fred! He's the worst! He's the worst shot. He's the worst shot
RH,
taker of
come
any
outside.
professional footballer I have ever seen in my life. I'm not even joking. It's
Why doesn't he learn that?
unbelievable how
How
bad
can
he
he not
is.
have realised in like 5
The
years,
thing is,
whatever, of
he
professional
can
football,
pass.
6 years.
I know he's not Paul Scholes, but he can pass.
Oh, here we go.
He can't
Cavani
just pass it
doing
in the net.
Some hop, skip, and jump stuff.
Oh,
Cavani warming up has generally been the most exciting thing in this game so far.
What's interesting about him warming up is he's not warming up on the sideline. He's warming up beyond the.
He's warming up on the goal line, which I've never seen.
Mate.
It's nice to see someone with long hair in that
Cavani
United squad for once.
doing what he wants.
Representing.
Look at that jaw
Hair
on him.
is a-
Look at the jaw on him.
Yeah.
He's not better
We
jaw
need-
than that in that United squad. Walking out, he was like,
Yeah. Do you know when you
Joe,
see
you can
people,
set your watch to that.
you see people testing like sharp knives on a piece of paper? You can just pull a piece of paper and his jaw slices it
I seen that. I seen
like
that.
a very sharp
I
blade.
think I seen that. I think I've seen him do that.
He does it on his Instagram. Ask him, he'll do it.
Speak to One Matter's dad and get him to ask Edison Cavani.
Yeah,
to
text
do
him
that.
now,
Go on,
Steve, if
as
you're
soon
such
as
big
your
mates
besties.
with him.
Yeah, I mean.
He has to do it through a Deliveroo driver, but he can get in contact.
Rule of 6.
Did your order arrive on time? Hi, can I get an autograph from your son, please? Any special notes? What Juan Mata's doing with the Common Goal project is honestly so good. P.S. Cheers for the paella. That's what you put in the notes, isn't it?
Iberian ham's good though.
Yeah, it is lovely. Very salty though, but that's how they do it. Big day, innit, Jay?
It is a big day. So I was enjoying that until I looked up and just think this game is just absolutely
dreadful.
Yes.
Yeah. What do you think to the fact that now that they can charge for 3 o'clock games, there's no games on at 3 o'clock anymore? That's weird, isn't it? How it was meant to be, you can watch the 3 o'clock games because we're going to televise them. There ain't any anymore.
Do you know what? That rule book got fucking volleyed, didn't it? They don't give a fuck.
That's it.
No. Inside.
They might as well call it the fucking Sky Sports Premier League because they do what they want.
I know. It's weird that they...
Well, come on, Wan-Bissaka.
Who's it sponsored by now? Just Premier League. I remember the Barclays Premiership was good.
Yeah.
The shit.
Carling
Premiership, yeah. Barclays Premier League.
Right, that's pathetic.
Yeah, it is. Havertz, Wan-Bissaka.
Easy, that.
Goalie.
That was a crazy back pass.
Wan-Bissaka's been good, yeah.
Yeah.
He has.
Congo
Because he's not
stand
been
up.
asked to do too much going forward, so he's just been allowed to sort of sit back a little bit. But we don't... Rashford doesn't seem to be able to decide whether he's playing on the wing or up front. Mata can't really get in the
It's
game.
like you
Dan
were saying,
James isn't
Steve,
doing a lot
it
either.
seems tailor-made now to get Marcus over to the
Mascherano.
left,
Marcus.
get Cavani in the middle. Because Dan James, I've stuck up for him, but he's not really done anything, has he?
No.
No.
And I don't think it's a great loss if we take him off.
No.
Kante looks tired.
He's getting on a bit now. What is he, 29, 28?
Nah.
No, he is. He's about 29, I think.
have a
I think you're
look.
honestly.
I think
we
he
were
might
linked with
be
him, weren't
30.
we?
I think he's 30.
Kante,
I'm gonna
he's
go
29 years old.
There you go.
When's he 30?
March, 30th of March, so April.
What, March?
So April though, isn't it?
This is he's 28 until he's 29.
His fucking birthday's
That's
in
not
March.
how it works.
Is it though? When it's that late, is it even
Don't
still
you
the same
understand
month?
fractions?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
I'm not sure.
Didn't we have one of these yesterday?
Oh, come on, he's coming on! So is Pogba. I'm fucking right excited.
Wow.
He's going to give an own
It's
goal.
like the
isn't he?
greatest set of substitutions ever.
Imagine that. Oh, we just need to make some subs. We've got Dan James on the pitch. Who are we taking off? Dan James, Mata, who are you putting on? Cavani and Pogba, please.
We get ready to throw up though when it's Bruno and Rashford. He takes off.
Yeah.
He's like, no! Fucking PE teacher cunt.
Ooh. Interesting.
It's a hypothetical.
He's popped
it's not my
off.
true thoughts.
Goalie.
Pot, yeah, pot. Hashtag pot chin if he does that.
By the way, we're only hearing from Cam if we win.
Yeah, obviously. We'll get Cam on the review. Win, lose or draw. Yeah, Pogba, Cavani coming on.
Oh, mate, what a fucking change. Look at the difference it makes having a bench.
I know.
Just trying to find something out.
That's it. That's a touch. That's a touch. Keep that. Yeah.
Who'd you pull? McTominay's been a bit anonymous lately. Do you think it's Fred? It's usually Fred. Fred's his quick little scapegoat that don't kick off and will happily get subbed in it. It's like Ji-Sung Park always used to be that guy.
Yeah.
You're a little hard-working player. He's happy days.
Go on, sir. That's it.
Taking him off.
Dankeschön.
Luke Shaw turning inside. He's
Go
got
on,
no
done
one
all right
on
there.
his
Move
name.
He's
out
also
the way.
got no fucking
I know.
spark because it opened up
Well,
for him
that's
and he
true.
was like, well,
But he
I
would
don't
have been
mind.
wide.
he'd have been driving into a cul-de-sac of about 7 Chelsea players, in fairness to him. And he's not really what he's about.
Oh, fuck is that?
Who's on this? Lindelof. Chelsea's sitting back a bit here. This is where you need a bit of invention. Bruno on the ball.
Why Pepsi Max and not Coke with a cherry?
Tastes better. Pepsi Max Cherry. Just one of those things.
It's the taste.
Definitely
It's like you with, wine and Captain Morgan and not, or whatever the rum you drink.
All right,
I'm sure.
He brought me a tiki one before, which is far too much pineapple and mango. What?
Luke Shaw again on the ball.
The Diplomatico.
Sorry, why?
It's perfecto.
Have you opened those nuts down the side?
Oh.
Why don't you chew it at the mic a bit louder?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Mr.
An
Professional when it comes to these
elephant over
watch-alongs.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry. I'm not having dinner.
What's louder, Jay chewing or Steve's breath? That's the question.
Darth Vader.
Well, that's a
Right,
good
turn.
touch.
Go on, son. Great ball.
Oh my days.
Go on, Marcus.
Go on.
Square him up. Hit it.
Hit it then.
Bruno Fred.
Not Fred.
Luke Shaw overlap. Blocked,
on,
obviously.
corner.
He took fucking ages, that's why.
Just shoot.
He did like a jump half step and then put the cross in. Right, here comes
it's
the
one
girls.
mark coming off for
Cavani.
Paul Pogba.
That is coming off. Paul Pogba's going on. And Dan James coming off for Cavani. So Rashford on the left. Pogba on the right, maybe? Don't know. How are we going to fix that one? Maybe it may well be Rashford and Cavani up front with a diamond in behind.
Oh, I like that.
Think about it. This time, what was it? Last
Cavani's
season
on.
when we played him, it was Mata and James. I think we brought on. They were our options, weren't they?
Yeah, but
Wow.
In fairness, Dan James scored, so
yeah,
it
no,
wasn't that
not.
bad.
It's a bit of a world of
Bruno.
difference, though, isn't it?
Back to Luke Shaw. Bruno puts it in near post. Oh, what's that?
Cavani nearly scored for him.
Fucking
His
hell.
first touch for Manchester United.
Fucking stop it, you long-haired matador, you.
Got in front of his
Look
man
at this.
there.
The guile, though. He's moving around there. He's in all sorts of havoc.
Oh, that'd have been a gorgeous goal, wouldn't it? Makes 2 runs. Nah, it just goes wide. It's unlucky. Just drifts down the outside of the.
Considering
That's
he
not like that instinct, though. You can see it there.
You
do know
can't
what I
buy
mean?
that.
It's something that we
you have that
lack
or you
at times.
don't.
We lack that.
You
sort
get
of
that on a
stuff.
free. You know what I mean? You can't buy it, can you?
Sure, Joe.
Sorry. Go on. Well done.
I think we have gone to a diamond.
Yeah.
That means you're asking Wan-Bissaka and Luke Shaw to bomb on Noah. That's not great. Especially when they're playing wing backs. That's just free reign for them.
A bit
to be in
narrow, isn't it?
space. Very.
Although you're surprised that you were worried before about Kante and Jorginho bossing the midfield. That's not really happened, has it?
No, well, I also said that they leave loads of room. They don't dominate that space.
Right. Okay.
Although to be fair, we haven't dominated that space with the extra man in there either. So
No.
it's kind of cancelled each other out. It's just been shit in midfield, hasn't it? Really?
Yeah, yes. It looks like Rashford's maybe on the. It's weird because we're playing a striker, a left winger, and then no one on the right, which does tend to be
Fred's
United's
on
tactic.
Earth as well, isn't he?
Is it?
That's pretty much the last 5 years, I think.
Pogba's a little bit further forward. You can see them, Fred and McTominay. It does seem to be a diamond
Yeah, I think it's a
in
diamond.
behind a striker and a left winger, which I don't. It's a tactic.
It's a
I've never
ballsy
seen
call.
before.
Let's see if it works out for him.
Yeah, I wonder if Jadon Sancho would fit nicely on the right hand side of that front three.
Apparently, he's not being happy bunny at old Dortmund.
I wonder if it's because they keep saying they'll sell him and then they refuse to. They keep like not promising him he'll go, but it looks like he's going to leave, and then he's staying again. Good cross in here from Reece James. Didn't really find anyone. I would say.
Where's Cavani ranked so far in our greatest ever Uruguayans?
Oh, he's got a long way to go to beat Diego.
Is he the only one we've had?
No.
Pellistri.
Yeah, but we also had that fella Varela.
Of course. He's the one.
Yeah, Diego.
We've got four
Just
lines
said
of
that,
it.
Diego.
Pellistri.
Come on, chill out, Jay. Jesus.
You're making me repeat myself.
He's made a mistake.
He's not allowed to.
No, that's true.
Sorry.
United got a New York beef sponsor down the side of the pitch.
What?
Interested, Steve?
I
If
mean,
I say the words New York and beef to you, I know that something happens downstairs.
I started salivating a little bit.
Yeah. See? And if I say cola, Coca-Cola,
I think of rum.
kitchen and bath.
No, I don't think of kitchen and
This is
bath.
what it's come to. Just listing the sponsors.
Favourite sponsors?
Sharp.
That's how
Sharp was
exciting
good, wasn't
this game is.
Sharp and gas.
Do you know when I was a kid?
Wonder if you-
Oh, great
yeah.
touch by Pogba there. Keep it ball. When I was a kid, I didn't know that Sharp was a brand. I thought that like sponsors were just part of the club kind of thing. They just put
Right.
what they want on.
Yeah.
And then I saw someone with a Sharp telly. I was like, oh my God, you've got a Man United telly. How do I get one? I didn't know they existed.
I had a ghetto blaster.
That was Sharp.
Yeah.
so
and I bought
cool.
it because the options was a JVC one. And do I look like a fucking Arsenal fan?
Exactly.
No.
Well done.
Or
Even
Sharp.
though it was the inferior product, you went for the
Definitely
Sharp.
was.
Yeah,
Definitely
no,
was.
yeah, JVC made some good ones.
Yeah, fucking right bangers. But, you know, I'm loyal, so what are you going to do?
Pogba sprays it out to Wan-Bissaka. No, it's Bruno.
There was also a Crown Paints
Oh,
place
good
in
turn.
Open Shaw.
Fuck that right off.
Yeah.
It's like getting a candy
Was that
washing
Liverpool?
machine.
Yeah.
McTominay with just a hit and hope into the box there. What was Cavani going to head it in from 18 yards out? Rashford cuts inside.
We'll have the
Reece
foul,
James
ref.
has got some
We'll have
good
the foul,
strength.
ref.
Chelsea counter-attacking now.
Oh, here we go. Back stick here. Mason Mount in acres of space. Is anyone going to go near him? Fred's gone near him. Who's that on the right then?
Number 10, Pulisic.
Oh, Pulisic.
Good tackle,
Again?
Wan-Bissaka.
Mate.
Lindelof does well here. Slows down the counter-attack very well. Just one-on-one with Werner here. Just don't let him do anything, does he? Stifles him nicely.
You're right.
He's done well there.
Yeah.
I think Werner and Marcus Rashford's playing styles are almost copy-paste.
The style doesn't necessarily indicate the quality or the how well you execute that style. Does it, Steve?
I'm not defending your bullshit comment that you made.
What was his comment? Because people might not have heard what was just said.
Can we say after the game if he hadn't scored, please? And not
I
otherwise.
don't really want to drink it.
Thank you. Oh,
That
Fred,
wasn't the greatest
fucking
ball, was it,
shit
Fred?
pass from Fred there.
He just put Pogba in all sorts of trouble. It looks now like he's got injured now.
Yeah, you can. If someone's injured, you stop play, idiot. Shut your face.
Well, maybe his head's in his back.
Yeah. His head's up his arse.
Do you know him?
Let's see. That looked like a foul.
Joel, you'll get treated exactly like a Chelsea fan, being an Arsenal fan.
Do we mention them comments last night?
How he thought fucking, what's his name, George Best isn't as good as Ronaldo.
No, we're not. I'm not even talking about that. I'm not joking. Don't
that?
stop it now. You're not on camera. Stop talking. We can't talk about it because it'll ruin everything.
What's he on about?
Don't talk. We'll talk about it
I'll tell you
afterwards.
after. Context is very important.
It's not.
Very important. It's
Well,
not very important.
Right, okay.
Very important. You think Matt as well it went wild?
I think
a
it's
2.0 went wild?
I think he's come to his senses. We can't talk about this.
This is wild.
Well, let's talk about it then because it sounds like it could be
Joe,
interesting.
we can't
and
talk about
I don't want to
the
talk
viewers
about
would
it.
like to get involved in this conversation.
we can't talk about this.
Steve is
No, it's
not
not.
very good at comparing the quality of two different players.
Context.
Was this on
also-
camera?
No, it was also 55 years ago.
Even with context, it's delusion of the highest order.
Yeah.
What context can you put there?
Yeah, don't worry about
What are you
it.
forwarding me?
Don't worry about it.
Right, go on.
Have a read of them.
Can I read it?
In your head.
Just react.
Just react and see if you
Right, I'm getting sent these quotes.
Jay, you are the
Technical ability.
Shut up. Mate, what? What? I thought you meant Cristiano when I heard it, which I thought was controversial in itself. This is just mental illness.
Leave it. Leave it. We'll watch a video together.
If I didn't want to see you continue with your career, then I'd read them out loud. But because I do, I won't. But I think you should seek serious psychiatric help. Genuinely, I'm your mate as well as your colleague, and I think you need help because that's not well.
I'm gonna get you a video, and
And
I'll bet
promise
you 20
me you
quid
do
that
not
you
say
agree.
that out loud in front of people. No, I'm being serious. Promise me. I don't want to get the
I
phone
agree
call
with Jay.
or the WhatsApp message like I've had in the past saying, "Have you seen what your mates just said?" Right? We'll have a chat off camera.
Do you think you're overreacting?
No, I think I'm underreacting. I think the men in white coats need to come and have a word. That's actually scary. I'm going to edge away from you.
Right, 65 minutes gone. Let's move along.
I only got to the Ronaldo one.
The other one.
Let me see the second one.
What's wrong here?
Let me see the second one.
What's wrong here? I read them back to front. It's the top one I didn't read first. I
Oh,
only read
yeah,
the
yeah.
bottom one. What? Why are you saying these things?
Steve, he's lost it.
How many litres of rum were you in when you started
This
dribbling?
last night.
He was sober.
Right.
Anyway, let's move on because people don't know what we're talking about.
in the corner, Jay. Maradona could play better George Best.
Yeah, you
Can't
want
cope.
someone bester
Yeah.
underneath. Chelsea are on the ball then. United pressing quite nicely. Sorry about that. I know it's one of them where you're like, why bring it up if you can't tell us? I appreciate that.
One
but
day, right?
You actually
I
can't.
tell you what. You hit 2,000 likes, and we'll share it.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, right.
2,000
Genuine.
likes, yeah.
2,000 likes, and I'll read out one of them.
No, we fucking won't.
Yeah, I will. I'll read out one. One of them. I won't do both.
I'll turn the internet off.
That may be for the best.
I think we can get that sentence out before you shuffle to the back room, don't you?
Wow, that's a good point.
Shuffle.
I said shuffle, not
Waddle.
1K likes. We're halfway there.
Come on. Come on. Keep it coming.
Steve, you've made a mistake. You've made
You're
a mistake.
Be like Ben Bradley out in P looking for context there. You don't know the context, guys.
Fucking
Like, really?
Right, no, his full context was there. Mine needs a little bit more explaining.
We'll let you explain before it.
No, you won't, because we're not talking about it. Shut up. It's a private conversation, actually, that was having in the office last night.
Well, getting an injunction
over
in a
a
minute.
pizza.
He's on the phone with his lawyers. Injunction time.
Yeah, exactly.
So we'll have to get this read out in
Super
Parliament.
injunction.
Whoever
Who did
brings
Giggsy get?
Yeah.
They weren't allowed to talk about it, and have I got news for you?
Can't
How
talk
did they do
about
that?
it Because
Oh, God.
it's not in the public interest, and it's very detrimental to my career.
That's true, actually, both of those things.
Yeah.
High five.
Can't legally, but I'd love to. The game has slowed down slightly in the last 5 minutes.
Is the game up.
I don't know if it's because life slowed down while I was laughing at that. But it seems as though not a lot has happened since the subs came on, funnily enough. We're trying to play the ball through Pogba, and he's not
TV's
done
gonna
anything
turn
with
off
it
by
so
the way.
far, has he?
Cam, mono.
So hopefully something happens. Obviously, Cavani's not the sort of player that's going to, have 200 touches in a match, is he? He's give him the ball and he'll put it in the back of the net.
Come on for Ajax in the last 30 today.
Yeah, exactly. That was rough, wasn't it?
13-0.
Yeah. I mean,
Do you even do a team talk after that?
What do you say? What do you say? 13-0 up or 12-0 up? Keep going. Keep going, lads. Keep it on. Because normally when you get to about 6-0, you take the foot off the gas, you make a few subs. Go on, Marcus. Great touch.
Cavani back stick there. Go on, find him. Find him.
Rashford. Rashford went for the shot there.
Oh, he's been fucking burying
Well done,
Torres all
that's
week. He
a
might as
foul.
well
That's
do
a
it
foul.
at the weekend.
He just wants that good PR. If he scores, he keeps
Yeah, he really needs good PR on him.
Great pass from Harry
Well
Maguire.
on, by the way.
And
Well
a
on.
beautiful touch from Rashford.
That's the cross right there, though.
Yeah, you're right on his left. Should have
One on one with Azpilicueta. He went for the old
Cavani's
Liverpool.
getting on that. Something in Spanish. Yeah. He speaks Spanish in Uruguay.
Uruguay, right? 10 attempts to Chelsea's 4, although it don't really feel like it, does it?
Doesn't.
I'd say it feels like we've had one
All right.
chance.
Name 3 of them.
Rashford on
very
goal,
good then from,
Cavani near post, Rashford hitting the goalie legs, and the one that Mendy nearly put in his own net. They're 3 shots we had at
Does
the
that
goal.
count as one of our attempts on goal?
I hope it does. It's funny if it does. Oh! If only he could have crossed it to himself.
Wonder how much of the Chelsea defence are going, who the fuck is he?
Probably. Fred. He's off. Tight.
I think Thiago Silva
One of them,
plays
though,
him.
when you start getting the ruler out, I reckon he might have been off. His nose or his chin.
I mean, that chin. Good chance of that.
A great chin. 70 minutes gone. The pushing down the left-hand side
This
here.
is one of the most bizarre arguments going on camera.
Yeah.
Here. I've
Who's
ever
got
heard in
the
my life.
shittest centre-back in
got a
London?
Chelsea and an Arsenal fan here off camera arguing about who's shitter, David Luiz or Thiago Silva.
David Luiz is worse,
both
obviously.
fucking
Oh, I like your foul. then.
David Luiz is by far the worst.
Marcus, national treasure. That should be an instant red card.
Basically taking them food out of kids' mouths there.
Do you think there'll be?
Sammy Abraham coming on for Chelsea.
Do you think we'll see a statue of him, not outside the ground, in Manchester somewhere?
Yes.
I think we will do as
Because
well.
I started working on it 3 weeks ago.
Did you? Did you?
Using
Getting the
bottle-
chicken wire out.
Yeah, no. I'm
Trying to
using-
get
I'm
Marcus
using
Rashford.
The bottle tops of my rums.
Plaster of Paris over the top of that.
Just hammering it together from bottle tops of rum.
Yeah. That'd be good.
I've got his left foot so far.
But what a foot. Can you be slightly quieter, please? Cheers, lads. Mason Mount and Tammy Abraham coming on for Werner and Havertz. I can say it's just a blonde Shane Long. That's what I said yesterday, and it's proved to be true. Let's be honest, it's too direct.
Nothing.
£130 million worth of talent
Yeah.
hooked off after an hour because they're shit for 2 academy products. Game's gone. Chelsea gone.
Connolly, thank you very much for your super chat there, Mike, for supporting the channel. Thank you very much. Havertz and Werner both gone off. What does that say? Having to resort to Mason Mount and Tammy Abraham to win him a game again, despite spending 200 million quid.
Game's gone.
Game's gone, hasn't it,
Game's
Steve?
gone.
Game's gone. 200 million quid. You know that could have got you an old money. Alaska. More than that. These people, it was like £1 million Alaska, wasn't it?
About 9.
Largely considered to be the most profitable transaction of all time.
Really?
The purchase of Alaska from Russia.
Louisiana purchase has got to be.
Shut your face, mate.
That's like, what, 10 states, whatever it was, for 15 million quid.
Really?
Yeah, off the French.
Wow.
All right.
I'm sorry. I'm just saying.
His thing is just as likely to be wrong as mine because we're both making it up.
I'm not making it up.
Yes, we are, Jay.
Louisiana purchase was a real thing.
I know it was a real thing, but the fact whether it was the most profitable purchase in history.
All the gold reserves and everything.
Yeah, but all the oil in Alaska, mate.
There's more oil and gold in the Louisiana.
Fuck you and fuck the polar bears.
Why do you like polar bears, Steve?
Because they've got this nice little fucking, oh, look at me, I'm cuddly rep. They'll eat your face.
Yeah, but that's a good thing, isn't it? Don't you like them for that?
How many polar bears?
I like them for that.
Royalston. Why is that a concern of yours?
I'm saying if you're in Alaska, so fuck Alaska and fuck polar bears.
Do they have polar bears in Alaska?
I don't think they do.
Yeah, they do. They do.
They have polar bears in Alaska?
Yeah, they do.
Undoubtedly.
They do.
No, they don't.
Of course they do. Of course they do. In Alaska, they have things where they're like, here's how we deal with polar bears and that. Yeah, it's the north.
I don't think they have polar bears in Canada.
Yeah, Toronto
Where
is
did you
about
live in Canada?
1,000 miles away from Alaska.
Right, you lived in a city and wonder why you didn't see polar bears.
They still have bears.
Shut up, you widge.
Someone let us know in the comments, do polar bears live in Canada? St. Lawrence and Alaska. Yes, thank you.
Polar bears are in Alaska.
Yeah.
I found
Polar bears are in Alaska, you see. It's good, isn't it?
They're on the pack ice, Joe.
They're good, aren't they, the polar bear? I love a polar bear.
But you don't like them because they're vicious.
No, I think there's some animals that get anthropomorphized.
Oh,
and
try that
for
again.
that reason.
They're nice.
Doberman?
No, that's not what anthropomorphized means. No, some animals people like give human characteristics to and go, oh, aren't they cute? Teddy bears being the one. Like Blake's got about 4 or 5 teddy bears. She can carry them around all the time. It's not the right thing to teach kids because a bear is going to eat your arsehole first.
Oh.
While you're alive.
But for the first few seconds, it's lovely, isn't it? You know what I mean?
We've taken a really nice thing, teddy bears for kids, and turned it into some disgusting
filth, Joe. Filth.
Me, filth? You just said arsehole voice.
I'm just talking about how bears eat you.
Minging.
Chimpanzees are bad and all. They go for the face and the genitals.
People are like, oh, aren't they nice?
Yeah,
No, they'll eat you.
Eats your face.
They'll eat you.
Yeah.
Mountain lions. Aren't they cute? Hey, kitty. He'll eat you.
Bite your face off, bite your genitals off, and then bite your fingers off. So you can't even touch to feel what your skull feels like.
Regardless of
It's a
what
good
Joe
tackle,
said,
that.
it's still not as bad as the comment you said that I've read.
Of course not.
What I got sent.
Oh, right. No, shut up.
Shut your mouth.
Are we on 2,000 likes yet or what?
I'm going to show you a video.
Right.
I hate
And
this.
after the end of that video, you're going to agree with me.
I don't think you are.
You are.
Unless during this video we're doing copious amounts of drugs.
Unless you meant
Certainly
him
not.
in 2005. Maybe that version of him.
Wow.
Otherwise, I doubt it.
Ah, right, I'm with you. Yeah,
Goal
yeah.
scored in final 15 minutes most this season in Manchester United with 5.
Up the fucking Reds.
We need. I love stats like that where you're like, they're just trying to make it seem like something good's going to happen for the rest of this game.
Yeah, someone at Sky's like, anything? Has
Yeah.
anyone got anything?
Well, they brought Pogba and Cavani on. Did it change anything? No. Just Pogba's losing the ball in midfield more now than he was when he wasn't playing.
Lost it.
Well done, Luke.
Luke
Oh,
Shaw's
he's
in.
lucky
How's he
there.
lost that there?
Who's that, Mason Mount? Yeah, don't do that next
Cheers, lads. 4 players have changed their availability for today's game. That happened 5 hours ago.
Rashford got booked there for a tackle on Mason Mount.
Let's have a look who it was.
Peter Knight with the super chat. He says, Ole lost trust in Pogba in that deeper role, dropped for the last 2 and pushed further forward today. I think he might have done. I think Pogba on current form could maybe not be trusted in that role because he hangs onto the ball for too long. And that's what he did in those early games of the season, so it's no wonder he got dropped. I'm not saying he'll never play there again, but it does seem as though when he's not on form, you can't have someone who hangs onto the ball for too long in the number 6 because as soon as they give the ball away, they're straight on the defence.
It was Mourinho's bugbear with him on it when he played him there.
Yeah.
That he held onto the ball too long and he gave it away, and everyone was saying, "Well, you can't play him there." I mean, it surprised me because you'd expect him to be able to because he can pass it so long as well. You think he'd actually suit that, but
Kick it really hard, can't he?
Yeah.
But he's He played there really well though, at tail end of last season. So I don't think he can't possibly play there. He did play there and played well there, but it does seem as though he has lost a bit of trust in him, certainly short term after the start of the season he's had. But who knows? Has McTominay gone off there? It looked like he might be injured, but he stayed on. Good pass down the line there. United have made a few attacks down this left-hand side.
Shut up, Alex.
Into the final 12.5 minutes, Jay. What are you expecting to see?
Don't know. My confidence is waning. I was pretty sure we'd win today, but now it's just been such a nothing game, and I know we've had a couple of chances.
Well, for tea.
I don't know actually. What time are we here till? Good question.
9.
I might get a chippy on the way home.
You going for chippy?
Chip balm.
Chip balm?
Yeah.
Is that enough for you?
Might get sausage as well.
Yeah, good
Throw
lad.
sausage into the mix.
I've heard you like sausage.
Do you put the sausage
Yes, I
in
do.
the sandwich, or do you have it as a separato?
Like a treat.
I have a separate, yeah.
Do you like that snap,
Tell me
that
what you're waiting.
crunch?
Where's all these flies come from?
Probably open cans of Red Bull left on people's desks. United's upcoming
Feel attacked.
United's upcoming fixtures on the screen there. We've got RB Leipzig, Arsenal, both two tricky fixtures. Then we've got that big B on a logo team. Istanbul. Pogba.
Bashakir.
Oh, shocking.
Poor ball.
Then Everton and West Brom. Bashakshir. I think it is, something like that. It's a tricky. We're sort of halfway into that run of tricky fixtures, aren't we?
Yeah.
We started it with Tottenham, we got battered. Then we had PSG, did pretty well. Now it's Chelsea, and it's looking a bit stale this match.
Yeah.
It looks as though we need some subs, but we've done our good subs, and not much has changed.
Van der Beek, you got Greenwood.
Yeah, maybe one of them too.
Who would you give a chance
Marcus.
to out of those two?
I'd probably pull Marcus now with 10 to go and throw Greenwood on.
But he doesn't tend to though, does he?
No, I agree. He doesn't, does he? He don't like taking
But
off
I would.
Marcus.
I'd go with it.
Just saw Mason warming up down the sideline there. Although if you were a player, I'd be one of them who warmed up all the time, even when they didn't ask me to. I was like, I'm so hot, I'm so warm and ready to go here. I just
I am warm.
saying it under my breath. Everything's so stretched out and lovely. Bruno into the box. 2 men on Cavani there. Fred back out to Bruno.
It's better than that from Fred.
He's a great footballer to the shot.
Wow.
Oh. Lindelof. On the overlap. Go on, lad. Get in the box. Get in the box. Have a dig.
Pogba! And ball!
No one appealed for that either, did they?
That was a shocking
Lindelof
shot.
did very well there. Nice 1-2 overlap with... I'm not even sure who it was with, to be honest. Rashford, yeah.
That's a bad ball.
Ball out for a Chelsea
Simple
throw.
that.
Pogba did a bit of nothing with that, didn't he?
Did
He
I
hit
imagine
it.
it? I think this is it on ball.
Great overlap there from Lindelof. Takes it in the box, goes past his man, pulls it back. He does really well there and just side foots it straight at the goalie, doesn't he?
Close to an handball, I'm talking utter wibble.
Straight at the goalie, that shot from Pogba. Is it
Not
Hakim
great.
Ziyech?
Not great at all. That just sort of sums it up so far.
Hakim Ziyech coming on for Christian Pulisic. Looked a bit slow so far in his games, but obviously he still played. Right.
No one cares.
He's looked a bit slow so far in the games that he's played, I thought, Ziyech.
Yeah, I agree.
But
completely.
He's still got a left
Star
foot on him.
boy warming up.
Yeah, Mason
Stripping off.
Come on then.
What's
Rashford's
up
been
your
out on the
face?
right hand side last few minutes. I wonder if that means Mason on the left, or probably it's just that we've only got one winger, so he has to take turns on which wing he wants to play on.
shit without fans.
Yeah, it is. It must be shit to play in as well.
That's what I mean. It's just
I bet
like,
they hate it.
No one's really come out and actually
gonna
said
say
what
that.
it's about.
No.
They go, oh, it's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
they say-
about as deep as they'll go.
And they always give it that like trademark line of, you know, it's obviously the game's not there without the fans, but they've not said it's actually shit.
what
We
I
all
mean.
hate it. We talk about it all the time. Like no one's come out and given an honest assessment of what it's like to play without fans.
I heard the manager go, get him fucking off, and I
Yeah.
don't like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's disconcerting and it's hard to play as well as we did before.
fucking hell.
Like, I want to call a referee a cunt and get away with it.
Yeah.
And I
Can't
don't
now.
get away with it anymore. I get talked to.
Someone does a big fart in one of the boxes, we can hear it. It's no good. Especially when Mike Ashley's in one of the boxes.
Yeah, I can hear him eating crisp.
He insists on opening
Oh, if
it.
that's a mood, that is
pictures
a
of
mood, isn't it?
Donny Van
That
de Beek
picture of Van de
looking
Beek then is
fuming.
everything I feel.
He'll be on a 40s agent later.
Go on. You can.
I was signing for United.
Whoa! Free kick. No.
No.
I like it when Wan-Bissaka gives the ball away in the opposition third and then tackles it straight back off him because he's better at tackling. He's better at tackling than he is at dribbling.
He's weird, isn't he?
Wan-Bissaka? Yeah, he's got a better chance of getting past a man by passing the ball to him and then tackling it back off him than he has from actually knocking it past him and going round him. Mason Greenwood coming on for... Who's gone off? Scott McTominay. Looked a bit injured, didn't he? We're going for the win.
Makes sense.
Going for the W here.
Gamble!
Yeah.
We gamble today.
I'm getting a bit nervous now.
It backfired.
I hope Mason scores. Straight away you see Rashford back out onto this left-hand side, Mason on the right. No real surprises
Big 3
there.
points this if we can pull it off in the next 8
Fucking hell.
minutes.
Yeah. I know.
A ball draw, shit.
It is shit, but in terms of a result, how disappointed would you be with the draw?
Yeah, I'd be pretty disappointed. You got to win your home games.
Yeah. Yeah. We've been shit at home though this season, haven't we?
Yeah. So let's win one.
Good point. Keep the ball, man on! Oh, turned in well there, Fred. Shit, we said. You did.
Call
That's
it.
why you got to shout it.
And that's the benefit of being in an empty stadium because
Well done, Pogba.
From 2.5 mile away.
Yeah, he's done well there, Pogba. Oh, Bruno's got a turn in him as well, hasn't he? That's nice. Well done. Keep the ball. United are the ones putting the pressure on, aren't they?
Yeah.
What's your pep talk to McGreenwood before you bring him on? You stand on the sideline, you got your arm around his shoulder, you're his manager. What are you saying?
Arrive in the box earlier than you arrive for training. Something like that. Some little pun. Some little joke to him. Although he's never late for training. Ollie said it himself, so...
It's fucking definitely lying.
You are?
I think he's lying.
Do you? Do you like that? Do you like that he's coming out and defending his players?
Good.
Closing
I
down.
hope he fucking hit him in the throat when he went in the changing room.
Yeah, me too.
Why not stop him doing a cross for once?
That's what I said. Luke Shaw can't do that anymore because he's got a yellow card. He just stands off people. Corner to Chelsea. It's an exciting game, isn't
Absolute dross in it.
it? Oh, 8-5 up in corners, United.
Get in. Have a bit of
one of the best stats, that one. If you can win, if you can be up on any of the stats, it's obviously goals first, but then for me it's corners. Anyway. If they score from a corner, I'm going to shit myself.
I can't wait for an early night, mate.
Ziyech ball in, low driven to the near post, but put away by Bruno. Mason chasing Chilwell. Get up, you dickhead.
Oh, it literally just falls over.
Is it Chilwell? Mason Mount. I don't like Mason Mount. He's one of those very unlikable players, I think, isn't he?
He's just nothing to me. He's like proper beige. You know, I
Nothing.
forget what he looks like.
You are
Do you know
nothing.
what I mean? And I have the whole England thing. I know we were joking about it before, but I'm not even bothered.
Alan Partridge. What do you mean the whole England thing?
Like about him sort of being Gareth Southgate's Bezzy.
Well, that was too easy, wasn't it?
Jesus.
We let him isolate Mason on that side there.
Oh, you made the bad decision there.
Giving the ball away, Rashford on the edge of the box. Right, win it back. Close him down then. Fucking hell. Luke Shaw, the ball's gone over his head. He's 10 yards away from him by the time he puts the ball in.
Corner, but at least we got rid of it.
Get
somehow.
closer to him. Just lets it go over his head and watches him put a cross in.
I like Fred, me.
I like Fred as well.
I like him because he's shit, but he grafts.
He's not that shit, but...
I mean,
he's a bit shit.
He's a bit shit.
He's limited, for sure.
Just call him shit, Joe. He's shit.
I don't want to call him shit. It's not nice. Ball into the box. Again, near post. Cavani straight up in the air.
Go on, the Cavani. All he's done's been on getting on the end of balls at front post and corners.
Yeah.
He's not done fuck all apart from that.
Hey.
Cavani.
I don't think he's going to. He's going to be one of those players that has 8 touches and then 6 of them are shots, isn't it? I think. Like, who was it? Bas Dost at Sporting. I think there's a time when he had 50 shots in a season, 50 touches or 60 touches in a season, and 40 of them were goals. Literally, just put the ball across, he'll tap it in.
No one's mad at that.
No, especially
you're
like
lazy. And
yeah, I got 40 goals for you last season.
Yeah, might even do
Right,
less.
Mason on the left here. Ball into the box. That's a good cross. There's no one really on it. Bruno.
What the living fuck was that?
Bruno with an overhead kick, that was it. Was it Bruno?
Yeah, he's only 20 yards out though, so.
Edge of the box.
Yeah, he's seen
As
Mikel
you do.
Antonio this afternoon, hasn't he?
You crazy asshole.
At least something exciting happened.
Yeah.
First time
fucking
that
knackered,
the heart rate went up a little bit. I'm tired from just watching this. Go on, Lindelof pushing into the space there. Good lad. He's a couple of times he's done that now. He's trying to make something happen. Greenwood squares up his man.
2-1, you don't want to do this.
Pulls it back. Cavani! Oh,
That was a
He
great
got it
ball
to
there.
Cavani,
Did well
fair
there,
play.
Greenwood.
He did.
Fired it across
Mason
well.
did really
Silva
well.
got across him.
Good defending from
Cavani
Thiago
don't need
Silva.
many of them.
No.
From 7 yard out, one of them's going in.
I wonder if there's an understanding between Cavani and Silva. If one of them thinks, I remember in training, you always used to do me, or I always used to like Cavani could never score against him, or he always got away from Silva. I bet there's something in there where there's an advantage there, but we don't know who it's for. It looks like it's
if
for
you're
Silva
Cavani,
there.
when you get here and you've not made your debut yet, you'd be like, listen, boss, I absolutely fucking destroy Thiago
Yeah.
Silva in training. He's like, really? Be like, really? Did
Yeah.
that really happen? After the game, be like, did that happen? No. Nah, that was a lie.
That was a lie, that was. Yeah, could never score against him. I thought today was the day, but apparently not.
Yeah. Anyway, high five.
Yeah, exactly. Go on, Luke.
Cross.
No high five.
Luke
Oh, that's
will not put a tackle in. Oh, he's blocked it. Keeper. Well done, Luke Shaw. Thiago Silva with a good block there. We're seeing him on the screen now. Mason Greenwood did brilliantly there. Pulls it back for Cavani. He's on his toe as well, and he gets the shot away. I thought Thiago Silva got it out, but he actually blocked it. It was good defending. That's what he'll always be good at, though, isn't it? Defending an near post like that positionally.
Yeah.
when he's
all
not.
that experience.
Yeah, exactly. Don't matter if he's 44 or however old he is.
Who?
Thiago Silva. Is he 46? Something like that. Stanley Matthews of Brazil.
That was a terrible
Who was
ball.
that?
That was shocking.
Lindelof, who's done quite well,
I
but
know.
fucking Fred's skating about it.
Well
Well
done
done,
there.
Bruno.
Go on, Bruno.
Good pressing from the back.
Is he wearing the armband today, Bruno? No, it's Maguire wearing it.
Maguire.
Oh, fuck off, Zane.
What's he saying? Go on.
Howson, you can't beat a BTEC.
So, shall I read it so it's into a
Yeah, sorry, go on, John.
Howson, you can't beat a BTEC West Ham and lost against Spurs. How are you going to cope with Arteta? Ball up to Cavani.
Fuck off, Zane.
Referee
And
keeps
if you
getting
don't,
away with that.
if you think I'm joking, I mean fuck off.
Oh. Directly rude.
Cavani in the ball.
We're all just trying to chip it onto his head, aren't we? Just get the ball, chip it onto his head. Like, share, and subscribe. Like the
And
video.
your mum took that card off you yet?
Share the word. Subscribe to the channel. Oh dear. We're into the 90th minute. Into the 90th.
I'm just going for a nap, me. Afterwards.
First minute now. How many minutes stoppage time have we got?
Oh, there can't be enough.
Ball out to Wan-Bissaka from Pogba. Take it on
Get
his
in the
chest.
box, lads.
Back to Fred. Fred into the box low.
Oh, that wasn't bad.
Lo and behold.
Bruno's on it.
Rashford.
Oh, what
great
a
effort,
fucking
great
save
save.
that was. I thought that was nestling in. Bastard.
That was a great
Bastard. Rashford's hit this like a Tory MP.
Oh, he got deflection. That's
hell.
why. It went off. An
Fantastic
ankle,
save by Mendinero. Jesus.
it went off an ankle, I think. Good save.
Wow. Solskjaer was celebrating it.
Come on, ball in the box. Cavani, head, 1-0. Game over. Ball in the box. None of the rest of it happened. Luke Shaw. Back
Round
to
for Tijo.
Wan-Bissaka. I don't know, actually. Depends how this last 4 minutes goes. Or 3 minutes. If we win, I might have
Strong
something
at the bottom.
exciting. Rashford.
4 minutes injury time is what the referee's saying.
Yeah, we're 91 minutes into it. Or 1 minute into it. Is this what they call a snooze fest, Jay?
Yes, absolutely.
Bore draw.
Textbook definition of it.
Dull as dishwater.
Yes.
All of the above.
Exactly my
We've had United have had the better of the chances, but other than the Rashford one, never really looked like scoring, have
No,
we?
you're right.
It's the only time anyone's looked like scoring, in fairness. But I'm surprised about this. I think it seemed like both teams were worried about losing more than they were worried about winning.
Yeah, I mean, the way we set up wasn't exactly very attacking, was
No.
it? You look at who we left on the bench.
Tellers for one.
Yeah, well, not even on the bench, not even the squad.
I
Is
wonder
it?
why he's not. That's a weird one, I think. Is Brandon Williams on the bench? Because he has been recently.
Oh, come on.
Go on. Oh, that's annoying, that, isn't it? Proper little FIFA bobble, that. Tackled him, hit it back off him, and he went to get the ball the other side of him and tripped over his body on the floor. You love that. Look at that. That's a trip, that. Game off.
That's actually a foul.
Probably is, isn't it? Lifts his leg off the floor to trip him up.
Yeah, that's a foul.
Smart foul that we're hearing, if there is such a thing.
I got an axe delivered today.
Did you? Why? Why?
Why?
Yeah.
Oh, we're doing a Halloween special of the Rundown.
There you go then.
And I'm going to someone that hits people with axes.
Could have borrowed that, so I need an axe. No, doing chopping things up.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Is that why you asked to borrow that roller carpet off me?
Yeah.
Interesting.
We should start taping up all our rubbish to look like bodies, you know.
Yeah, you should do, but
What are you doing there?
if you
Wake
don't want,
up!
if you don't want the police to come round, you probably shouldn't be doing that.
Hell.
No
Fuck
comment.
this. Fuck this then. Good tackle from Fred. Go on, up the other end. Here we go. One last more. Keep the ball. Good. Here we go.
Right, come on,
93rd
Shaw.
minute. Pushing up. Well, 94th minute. Ugh.
How about go forward?
How about
lads?
slow it down a bit more?
It's all right.
Right,
There's
the other
not
wing.
30 fucking seconds left.
Maybe.
How about do something?
One last cross here. Ball in the box. Cavani
front
near
stick.
post. Wan-Bissaka, it's his first man on the ball.
I'm tired, Robbie. Remember winning?
Yeah. We did it against PSG.
Oh,
the other
yeah,
day.
remember Tuesday?
Well done, Mason. He took the ball down there. Ball in the box. Pogba.
Oh, not quite.
Maguire. Out
Having
to
the best right back
Rashford.
on this
Overlap him.
fucking pitch.
Oh,
Sums
piss
it all
on
up,
my
doesn't it?
legs. Full time. 0-0.
0-0.
Solskjaer looked embarrassed at the end of that, didn't he? Little stoop of the head like, that was a bag of shit, wasn't it, lads? It was a bag of shit. We're going to be back reviewing said bag in just a few moments here on Stretford Paddock. That's the police. The boring police, isn't it? I can't even think of anything to say. It was so bad. Right, thank you everyone at home for joining us. He's fuming and hungry. He's having a laugh, but he's full of peanuts, so he's all right. Man United have drawn. I mean, look at that. Look how many
Why did
zeros
Mendy
there.
have to play today?
Drawn nils each
Hey.
with Chelsea at home. We're back for the review very
Imagine
shortly.
liking football.
Bye bye.